The 93X Half-Ass Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93X.
The University of Minnesota has announced it will launch a new cannabis research center, or as they're more commonly known, dorms.
I was told that I could find a ninja here.
Really?
So are you a ninja?
Yes. Yes, I am.
We had this one story. We had a guy, he dressed up in a full ninja suit and had a ninja sword.
Just found out that the first rule of a ninja is to avoid a fight at all costs. As it turns out, I'm a ninja warrior.
What's today?
Happy International Ninja Day.
It's showtime.
I could have killed you.
Very ninja-like. I didn't even see you. Where were you?
You didn't even see where I was.
No.
I love that story.
Where the hell is he right now? This is freaking me out.
You hear my voice, but you don't see me anywhere in the room, do you?
I just got poked in the ribs by a samurai sword.
Could have killed you, bro. International Ninja Day. Wow, that's kind of cool.
I always thought ninjas were awesome as a kid.
I think you could have become a great ninja.
Well, I do disappear in a room, that's for sure. Or some sort of social gathering or whatever.
That's
it's like
ridiculous.
I'm not even there.
That's ridiculous because you know that's not true. How fantastic this is. Welcome to the 93X Half-Ass Morning Show on International Ninja Day. I should explain myself in case you haven't heard the story. Ashley, I appreciate your support. You always seem to enjoy this story.
It's one of my favorite ones.
Whenever we talk about ninjas, and the popularity of ninjas here in America seems to come and go. I remember in the 80s when I was a kid, suddenly everybody wanted to have a set of throwing stars and nunchucks, and there were ninja movies everywhere, the Teenage Mutant
Ninja Turtles.
And then it goes away for a while, and then, I don't know, what was this, 10, 12 years ago? Weren't there ninjas running around Mound or something?
There was a kind of like the whole clown thing. There was a ninja thing for a little bit. Or was that St. Cloud? Yeah,
I remember something.
A couple of them.
And the people of Mound were saying, finally, something is happening in this town. But ninjas? You know what I mean? They didn't know how to deal with it. How come the ninjas had to come to Mound? But back when I was a kid, 9th grade, something along those lines, this was when karate movies and ninjas and everything was just hotter than hell for a stretch of time. And there was one kid at my school who almost exclusively dressed in camouflage every day. He made a transition over to ninja suits. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And his gimmick was when we'd be walking through the parking lot, into school, he would hide in a tree. And he'd wait for you to pass by. And then he'd say, "Psst, hey." And you'd look up and it would scare you. It would startle you.
I was just going to ask. So
yes.
You didn't know he was there?
No. Even though it happened multiple times, he would let enough time go by to where you'd forget about. He would hide. He'd climb a tree and hide up there in his ninja suit. And as you walk by, he would startle you by saying, "Psst, hey." And we'd look up and there he is, and he'd say, "Could have killed you." You didn't hear me? You didn't see me, did you? And we'd say, "No, dude, could have killed you."
That's so crazy to me.
And he had all the weaponry.
That's awesome.
He had everything.
What did he grow up to be? Was he some sort of special forces? Ninja?
I'll tell you what, Josh, if he decided to enlist, I bet he was quite valuable.
Could have killed you.
Right. But I have no idea. I have no idea. Every once in a while his name will come up. One of my junior high buddies will bring him up and say, "Wasn't that something?" And I'll say, "Well, yeah." But I never considered that. Had he enlisted, I bet he's an old man now. He's 52, 3 years old. But when he was young, I bet he could have been a valuable tool.
Yeah, I'd love to know what happened to him.
A weapon of war.
Real Dirt Nasty Jesus said he was a ninja last night. I was Ninja Mama.
Yeah.
You know who else has checked in on International Ninja Day? He's a ninja of maintenance, Fauché maintenance ninja. Checked in on International Ninja
I recognize that name. By God, I do.
International Ninja Day started about 20 years ago from a place called Ninja Burger. And they're obviously paying tribute to the pop culture of ninjas, but also how quickly they delivered your burgers. They get there as fast as a ninja.
That was their thing, huh? God dang. Well, that's a hell of a lot of fun. That snuck up on me. Just like a ninja would.
Backyard Haircut Jesus said when he was a kid, he wanted a pair of those ninja boots with 2 toes so bad. I can't picture those.
Boots doesn't sound right to me. I thought they were more like socks.
Let me see.
I'm not learned on ninja fashion.
No, they're boots.
Oh yeah, I see them. I don't think I've ever seen them, or maybe I've seen them and I just didn't notice they had like a split down the middle.
I was picturing a pair of socks. Have you guys seen? It's like socks or slippers where they just separate your toes in the middle.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what. Maybe that's for horseback riding or something. I have no idea.
No, I can see what you're picturing.
Yeah, I don't know. So there you go. Again, thank you so much for dialing us up this morning. No matter how you do that, some of you have an actual radio. Some others download and listen with the 93X app. Let me, bear with me. Let me read the rest of this list where I don't understand what I'm saying. What are the other options for folks?
Well, if you got a smart speaker, you can say play 93X and it'll play 93X.
Right.
You can go to our website, 93x.com. You can stream us there.
Streaming
all the
us.
audio apps.
Audio apps.
OnlyFans. There's a lot of places you can find us.
God.
We're huge on OnlyFans.
Top performers.
You know, until you played me that ninja audio there to start the show, Josh, and announced to all of us that it's International Ninja Day, I gotta say that I came into the building feeling kind of down this morning. Now, don't get me wrong, when I saw your face, Josh, it cheered me up.
That's what always cheers me up when I see your face when you walk in.
When I walked in, I saw Josh, and I felt a little bit better. I came into the building feeling a little bit down. Now, make note of this because it doesn't happen often. Last night, I watched what I believe to be a current television program.
Whoa.
A current documentary. My new wife dialed it up, and it made a player kind of sad. It was a documentary on the life and times of one of my favorite people of all damn time. Maybe since you folks, you're always on those services, Netflix and whatnot. Maybe you know if in fact I'm correct and this is a current documentary, something that is relatively new. Maybe you can guess what the documentary was on the life and times of.
Well, I know you already watched the one on Sylvester Stallone.
Yes, I did.
I know you watched the one on Wham.
Yeah, Wham. Yeah.
Which was very good.
That was
by the
good.
way.
It was good. And we both fell in love even more so than we were 30 years ago. We both fell even more in love with Andrew Ridgeley.
He's the best friend a guy could ever have.
He is.
Andrew Ridgeley.
He is.
Also, it's probably not the Schwarzenegger one if you're feeling bad.
No.
That's relatively recent.
No, I didn't. And Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't really grab me the way he used to. I'll just go ahead and tell you. It was on the life and times of the wonderful, beautiful Anna Nicole Smith.
Oh, yeah, I think that is new.
Okay.
Yeah.
The wonderful, beautiful Anna Nicole Smith. A terrible, tragic story.
You're a fan. Yeah, I think that maybe that was the spring or summer that came out.
Oh, okay.
So relative for you, I mean,
Yes.
it might as well come out
Brad knew.
at the end of next week.
You
You're
were the
so
one,
ahead.
Josh, you were the one back in the day, I mean, nearly 20 years ago. You bought me the full catalog of her reality show program that aired for, I don't know how. You bought me the full catalog, all the DVDs of every episode of the Anna Nicole.
You were in love.
I was very much in love. She was so beautiful, and she was so sweet and nice. And then she became the hottest model on planet Earth, and then the drugs, and then she married a 2,000-year-old man, and then all the money was gone, and then all the money came back, and then the death. Anna Nicole Smith documentary. Maybe you'd like to try that out. Oh, I just haven't thought about her in a while. But yes, I was very much in love with her for a long stretch of time.
Did you have to hide how much you loved her in front of your new wife, or was she already on it? She knew.
She knows she knows how I operate. So no, I didn't have to hide anything.
Did you maybe throw a blonde wig on the wife and put a little beauty mark on her left cheek? This is unrelated. If you don't mind.
This is totally unrelated. After the show was over, yeah. I'm getting out a magic marker to put a birthmark on her left cheekbone, teaching her how to say y'all while we're in bed. I just wanted to throw that your way. It's dark and terrible, but it is very interesting, and she's one of my favorite people ever. So I was very happy to watch the show.
I can't say I know a ton about her other than what you described. That's as far as I really go with my Anna Nicole Smith knowledge.
Let me just tell you one little thing about the documentary. There was some information at the end that did slightly alter my memory of her. That's all I'm going to tell you, because I don't want any of these spoiler alert hard-ons coming after me. But there was some information towards the end from her mother that slightly altered my memory of her.
Did you ever see the movie Skyscraper, Nick?
No.
No, okay.
Never saw it.
Wait, was that the one with The Rock?
No, that's the 1996 movie with Anna Nicole Smith. It's kind of like a Die Hard ripoff where she plays the John McClane type role. It's fantastically awful.
Never heard of it.
Didn't The Rock have one called Skyscraper?
I believe he did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then there, of course, David Lee Roth's 1988 solo album that everybody here in the building owns and listens to over and over again was called Skyscraper.
Oh, Roth just released a new version of Jump, the Van Halen song Jump.
Is it terrible?
It's not so good.
No, I didn't know that she made a movie called Skyscraper.
And I don't want to do a spoiler alert here, too, but her boobs come out a couple times.
Get the hell out of here. Mm-hmm. Almost impossible to
imagine that.
Yeah, I wonder what they look like. I guess we'll never know.
Never.
Impossible to even picture what they might look like. I remember when she was in the Naked Gun movie, and me and my buddy Curtis, we were about first in line to see, I think it was Naked Gun 33 1/3, where she plays a character. Curtis and I were first in line for that just because Anna Nicole Smith was in the sumbitch. You know what else is going on current television programming? Because I'm the guy now.
You've changed, man.
Yeah.
Marriage has changed.
Yeah, I was going to say, marriage is changing, man.
Here's what else is going on current television programming. Netflix has a new movie. Okay. I know some of you here like to whack off to all the Christmas movies. There's a new Netflix movie called Family Switch.
I watched it over the weekend.
I've been seeing it everywhere. I was pretty close to watching it, and I don't know. It looked really cheesy.
Oh, it is. It's not going to be a Christmas classic, but I did like it. It was way better than I thought it was going to be.
So worth watching?
I think so.
Okay.
Again, don't go into it thinking this is going to be an annual tradition for your family, but it was entertaining. And I loved Jennifer Garner. I think that's who it is, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get the gens confused sometimes, but I think she's great.
So you guys are already dialed into this. The new Netflix movie Family Switch. The reason why it's come up here, specifically the information I have in front of me, it doesn't bother focusing on whether it's a good movie or funny or the acting or anything like that. It just focuses on how incest is part of the storyline.
Whoa.
This is so ridiculous, the controversy over this. Okay. It is so dumb.
It sounds...
incest, Josh?
Okay,
I'll explain it to you.
Sort of. I mean, it's the fact that people are getting upset about this it's silly.
Yeah, and that's what I took away from reading this article here. I thought, what is the big effing deal? Here's where I'll explain this to you if you don't know. It's ridiculous, like Josh was saying, that anyone's upset about this, but you know how we are these days. If it doesn't fall for some of us, if movies and just general society doesn't fall 100% within our moral parameters, we have to wet ourselves and call for action, right?
Right.
So here's the story. This is another one of these movies. I can't believe this gimmick still plays itself out in movies where people switch bodies with each other.
They actually have a scene where they make fun of the fact that they're making that movie. They talk about how... That. Yeah, they say, this has never happened in the history of the world. This is freaky. It's like it's a Friday. They kind of go through all the names of the different movies.
There are so many movies where you suddenly switch bodies with someone where, like, say, I would become Josh and he becomes me, and we're completely lost in how to operate as the other. You know how it plays out, so.
Yeah, they make fun of themselves for that.
The movie stars Ed Helms. I'm not completely familiar with who that is.
The dentist from The Hangover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Ed Helms and Jennifer Garner. I know who that is because she's stunning, absolutely stunning.
I think she's very funny, too.
I saw her in person on the Jimmy Fallon show once when I was in the studio audience. I've never seen a more immaculate, perfect person in real life in my entire life. She was just stunningly gorgeous in person.
And also, like Josh said, she's damn funny, damn talented.
Mm-hmm.
I even watched that movie, speaking of switching bodies, she had a movie years ago. It's
13 going on 30?
Okay.
I absolutely love that movie.
Oh, I thought you were searching for the name. I'm sorry.
No. I'm joking.
Oh, okay.
I was making fun of how this is basically a kid's movie, right? And I didn't even get through the full description, and you knew what the movie was. Yes, right. She becomes a 13-year-old or something.
They reference that one, too.
Yeah, that is a fun-ass movie.
Yeah, it is.
And she's awesome in that movie.
Yeah,
okay.
She's hilarious.
Ed Helms and Jennifer Garner. Okay, number one, this is ridiculous. They play a married couple.
You know what? I watching that, dude, that was one thing that was tough to get over.
Give me a break.
I don't think that would happen. Even with his celebrity, I don't think that's going to happen.
Being together.
That's stupid.
Why? Because they're both funny or celebrities or what?
Well, for me personally, when I see Jennifer Garner, it doesn't floor me. She's always given me mom vibes, and maybe it's because I've grown up with her. I don't know. She just makes me feel like she's gonna make me a cup of tea, tuck me in.
Oh, she does seem that way.
All right, Ashley, I'm not trying to start trouble, but you've never been so wrong than to assume that someone like Jennifer Garner would ever have an interest in someone like Ed Helms in the real world.
They seem like just wholesome people.
It would never happen. But anyway, they're a married couple in this movie. And they got a couple of kids. They screwed up and had a couple of kids. And through some sort of holiday magic, they have a boy and a girl, the two kids. Ed changes bodies with his son. Jennifer changes bodies with her daughter.
The gist is they don't appreciate each other's lives, right? And everybody thinks they've got it more difficult than the other. So they wish that they could just live a day in the other person's shoes, and then this happens.
So tell me if I'm wrong here, Cubby. So the brother and sister become the mom and dad.
Right.
And mom and dad become the two children.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, crazy.
So in order to keep the ruse up, I guess, in the neighborhood type of a thing, in order to keep the illusion up until they figure this out, the children, who are now portraying a married couple, have to do what married couples do. And there's a scene where the brother-sister, now married couple, have to kiss to sell the illusion. Am I making any sense?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
So basically there's a mom's night, right? A party that apparently happens a lot. So Jennifer Garner's friends come over, and all of a sudden Ed Helms comes in, and they're like, well, the kid as Ed Helms, right? And they're like, well, what the hell? This is mom's night. And they kind of talk about their relationship still hot. And they're like, oh, well, then you guys should kiss. Come on, kiss in front of us. And so they do, but it's on purpose cringy. they're both almost throwing up that they have to do it, and it's the quickest peck you've ever seen.
Right.
So the fact that there's controversy, it's not like they were making out or anything like that.
It's not like they did it.
It was meant to be cringy, and
Right.
it was so quick, and they obviously didn't want to do it. It was just funny.
But the overly buttoned-down dildos we're surrounded by these days have come uncorked because, in their mind, this movie features, or some would say encourages incest.
That is so bizarre.
That's
People
where-
are looking for a reason to get angry.
Yes, looking for a reason to get angry, looking to push their moral parameters. You know, all the bizarre reasons that we get so upset these days.
And look down on others that thought it was funny. Oh, you thought incest was funny? Oh,
Right.
that's interesting.
Right.
That says a lot about the type of person you are.
How dumb. And kind of dumb that we've got another movie where, oh my God, I'm suddenly someone else. But if you guys seem to like it, then,
Yeah, it was fun.
sure, go ahead.
As I said, it's not going to be the best movie you've ever seen, but it was a fun family
What is the
movie.
matter with us?
I don't know. Although, if you got a sister that looks like Jennifer Garner, you've probably thought about it, right? You're not going to act on it, but you've definitely had that thought. I wonder what that would be like. Eastbound at Sundown Jesus said Ed Helms, as far as Jennifer Garner who being with Ed Helms, Ashley. Ed Helms, she was married to Batman. She's not going to get with Ed Helms. That's true. She did marry Batman.
Who?
Ben Affleck. Who, by the way, was a very good Batman, surprisingly.
Jennifer Garner was married to Ben Affleck?
Yeah.
No
Long time.
kidding.
In between the Jennifer Lopez, right? So he has a thing for Jens, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, now she's dating somebody named John Miller.
John Miller.
He's good looking. He's a good looking man.
The guy he used to call ESPN baseball games with Joe Morgan. Oh, my God. He's older than hell. She married John Miller?
Whoever this guy
I used to watch him on Sunday Night Baseball. He's got a face like a dinner plate.
Just another Army mechanic, Jesus said, all I'm saying, now I haven't seen it, but if they think Family Switch is bad, meaning the how much incest is there, just wait until they see Back to the Future. No kidding. His mom wanted to bang him and bang him good.
Wanted to bang him bad.
That was bad, yeah.
And by the
feeling uncomfortable.
And Pickle Rick thinks incest is hilarious anyways.
It is. It's a lot of laughs.
So it sure seems popular on porn from what you guys have said.
Oh, well, you're damn right about that.
Yeah, you can't dial up Pornhub without stumbling upon some of that stuff.
That is so funny that someone brought up Back to the Future.
That is such a good point.
I didn't know as a kid how creepy that was. I didn't realize until I got older and I thought, oh yeah, that is his mom.
And I'll tell you what, I mean, when I watched that movie that movie came out when I was 14 years old. You're an animal when you're 14. You'll hump a carcass on the side of the road, you know what I mean? Oh my God, Leah Thompson in that scene where she's coming on to Reggie
Michael J. Fox, Marty McFly.
Marty McFly. That scene where she's coming on to him in the bed, and oh Jesus, I was beside myself. I thought she was just the sexiest thing in the world. Little did I know, 6 years later, Anna Nicole Smith would come around.
You couldn't have known.
Oh, I didn't. I had no idea.
Nobody could predict that.
That is funny. So now we're going to argue back and forth on the internet about the latest Netflix movie and incest. Jesus, why can't a certain portion of society just relax for 5 minutes? Just relax. Life is supposed to be fun.
I suppose, yeah, some of these people sat down and thought, I'm going to watch a wholesome Christmas movie with my family, and they saw that and freaked out.
Oh, did they possibly say out loud my favorite line? You know my favorite line of all time when it comes to families and parents, right?
I think I'm aware.
Did they say, how am I supposed to explain that to my children?
And again, what you're looking at is not the kids kissing, right? It's the adults who are husband and wife.
Who even cares? Let it go. Speaking of hot mamas, Janel Klein is stopping by for a visit at 7:30.
Is she?
I think so.
Oh, awesome. I didn't know she was coming in. Last I heard, she didn't get back to Ashley.
Oh, that scared me.
That's great.
Janelle and I have a date this weekend, and I got a date with Ashley too. Maybe we can talk about that later. I got 2 dates on Saturday night. One with Janelle and one with Ashley. I hope you're looking forward to it.
You're going to have a hot blonde on either arm. That's pretty cool. If you don't mind me saying so, Ashley.
No, that's totally fine.
See, a lot of folks you just said it a few minutes ago. Dana said it too. You said to me, you said marriage changed you.
Yeah, it did.
Not that much. I'm going on a date. Saturday night I got a date with Janelle and I got a date with Ashley.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'll tell you about that. And other things when Janelle gets here. What else is going on, Cubby?
I think you nailed it. My day has changed now that I know Janelle's coming in. That's awesome.
Yeah, it picks up a player's spirits. There's no effing doubt about that. So Tuesday morning, you're a dynamite crowd. We appreciate you very much. And after a little bit of a break ski, we'll come back here on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act, they're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
Get an inside look at Hollywood with Michael Rosenbaum.
Let's get inside of my father, John Glover. You know, we watch talk film, and most of these episodes I never saw.
I didn't watch the show.
You never once saw yourself on Smallville.
In the beginning, I used to look at myself all the time and love to. And then as I get older, I stopped.
Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe because I'm older.
I was going to talk to you about that because you're 79.
Yeah.
How old do you feel?
11.
Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Wherever you listen.
Stupid news on the Half-Assed Morning Show.
Ah, yeah. I hear you. Do you want any of you folks get involved in slap therapy? Just right across the...
No.
Slap therapy. Heard of it?
Yes, and I have not become involved. I have not for therapeutic or sexual reasons.
Sounds kind of painful.
Neither one. Never done the slapping. I know you guys are freaks in the bedroom, so you've tried stuff like that.
Oh, sexual slapping?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But this is new to me, slap therapy. I hadn't heard of that one yet. You want to hear something terrible?
Yeah.
Somebody's grandma got killed at a slap therapy session.
Oh, no.
Nobody's grandma should be dying at the slap therapy workshop.
No. I mean, you see some of that slap fighting, and you're wondering, how is that person's soul just not removed from their body with how hard they were hit? And they survive. But, they're not in their 70s.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of that slap fighting. Maybe, I don't know. I think I maybe lasted about 2-3 minutes on the slap fighting, and
that's about all I got.
I turned the channel on that. But here we go. These are some of the funniest people in the whole world right here. I love this bit. A self-professed alternative healer. That stuff gets me every time. Very funny. Very funny. A self-professed alternative healer has been charged in connection with the death of somebody grandma at a slap therapy workshop several years ago. This here story comes smooth out of the United Kingdom, don't you know? And I think the reason why it's popping up now is it's gone to court. We'll find out together. A gal named Janel Klein. Who was 71 years old. She was found dead in her room at some kind of building where they were cutting loose on each other with slap therapy. Sounds like a situation where you stay in a building together and you wake up every morning and you take classes on slap therapy. Grandma was looking for an alternative treatment for her diabetes. Huh?
You can We'll slap that right out of you.
For your diabetes. So 71-year-old lady, again, her name was Danielle. They found her dead. And here's the deal. The big fancy name for slap therapy is pedalagine. It's a holistic Chinese method where patients are slapped or they slap themselves repeatedly in order to supposedly draw out blood toxins. All right?
All right.
The slap down session. These slap down sessions were run by a fella called Hong Chi Zhao. He's some kind of expert on this crap. And Zhao was recently arrested and charged with manslaughter. Manslaughter by gross negligence because Grandma allegedly got slapped to death. Word is that Grandma, like I said, was trying to find alternative methods for treating her diabetes because she struggled to inject insulin due to a fear of needles. There's lots going on here.
Yeah, really.
Another routine they were involved in at this wackadoodle therapy workshop was something that involved forcible stretching on a hard bench. And Grandma was in on that too? They lay you on a hard bench and pull your arms and legs out the socket. I don't know what happened there, but that was just another route they were taking. One of this poor gal's grandkids, by the name of Matthew, is quoted here. He says, "I'm certain that if she hadn't gone to this course, she would still be alive today." Before this Danielle, the grandma, died, that Zhao character I was telling you about, he had also been questioned by authorities in Australia over the death of a 7-year-old diabetic boy. What the hell's going on over there?
I know. We could hear Dana's water bottle made an appearance. Then was that you again, Dana, with the mic?
Yeah, that was a double error there.
You can control your microphone today.
Slapping the piss out of each other. That method has been frequently criticized for having no scientific basis. Despite this Mr. Zhao, now here we go, this is good. He says that slapping each other upside down or slapping yourself can treat everything from body pains and cancer to Alzheimer's and paralysis. Okay, dude, that's enough.
I guess if you pay him enough.
It's like that old joke. Oh, boy, my ankle hurts. And then, you break their arm or something. Now your ankle doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
That's about enough. Oh, wow.
I mean, I thought acupuncture was pretty goofy, but people seem to think it works. Maybe that does do something.
Acupuncture.
Yeah, some people swear by that.
I know people who have successfully, well, I shouldn't. I was almost ready to make it sound like I knew multiple people. I know one person who got over smoking cigarettes through acupuncture. But I know way more that tried it and said, what the hell kind of waste of time did I just sign up for?
Oh, yeah?
That's just my take on the whole vibe.
I had sorry, go ahead, Bob.
I knew someone that quit smoking through hypnosis.
You're wanting a can of Copenhagen.
Every time you want to smoke, cluck like a chicken.
Yeah,
you don't want the Marlboros anymore. You want the Copenhagen.
Yeah, apparently it got to them like whenever they would smell the smoke from a cigarette, they would get sick from it.
Just from hypnosis.
Friggin' hypnosis. I'll be damned. Now we can go this way. There was a bar in Japan that was into slapping customers' faces. It's a service that they offered.
One slap, please.
Customers paid to have their jaws loosened up for them by a firm slap to the face. And they did this before they bring you your meal. Now, not everyone thought this was a good idea. But for a while, everybody was talking about this joint. I'm not even going to try to say the name of the place. It's Japanese, and although maybe I should try it, Josh, to try to say the name of this Japanese restaurant that offers slaps to the face, because eventually you and I will likely be living there because of our admiration for the Japanese people and their love of music. They
the concert calendar there is impressive.
They love the same. We've covered this many times. They love the same kind of music that Josh and I are still passionate about to this day, and that is the greatest form of music of all time, 80s rock.
And I saw some of the ladies that do this slapping, and I got to say, I'm willing to put up with a concussion for some of that, just if I get little attention from them.
Hot Mamas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to try the name of the joint. Sachihoko Ya Izakaya. That's the name of the joint. And it all starts to make a little bit of sense, and Josh already started to push us in that direction of making sense of all this. Why the hell would you want to go to a bar and have someone slap you across the mug before you have dinner? It starts to make more sense when you learn that it was an all-female staff that dished out the hard face slaps. So this is kind of a sexual thing. This joint was making money off, the submissive type dudes who get a boner when they get punished by a lady.
Yeah, the ones I saw were gorgeous.
But when they started this up, they say here in the story, it revitalized the bar's business. They say when they first started the bit, the face slapping was done by just one member of the staff upon request. But as demand grew, management started hiring hot mamas.
I'd worry about their safety, wouldn't you? Like, somebody might just, as a reaction, punch them right in the face. You just got slapped, even though you've given them permission, just that anger, that the rage kicks in at least for a second. But like you said, it's probably people that are really into this.
Yeah, they started hiring hot mamas to crack sorry some bitches across the yapper, and that's also when they started charging customers a few bucks for these slaps. The service became popular with tourists. A local newspaper out there in Japan said the harder the female staff slapped these folks, the more excited they got. They also said customers appeared to be more relaxed after getting slapped. They would even thank the staff member who smacked them. There's a video going around. Apparently it shows that these slaps were no joke. Some of these girls really let her buck. Really let her buck.
What does the five fingers say to the face?
What?
Slap!
Sorry, Charlie Murphy. I was having too much fun. But then, strangely enough here, Cubby, as soon as this face-slapping service was at its peak, they shut it smooth down. Not sure why. I'm sure we could all make a solid guess as to why a bar decided to stop dumping open hands into the jaw lines of their customers. But there's no solid answer here in the story. But like I said, I'm sure we could guess lawsuits or
definitely
someone got knocked out. The joint itself made an announcement on Twitter. They said, "We appreciate the attention this has received, but we cannot accommodate visits with slaps anymore.
It's probably a good call.
We did not expect old videos to go viral like this, so please understand before coming to see us." They're no longer going to just right in the mug.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth!
Slap!
That was staged, though.
Like a man, he slapped him.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Or, as I've noticed more people saying these days, unbelievable. Have you noticed that?
No, I have not. Unbelievable.
Yes.
I have noticed people saying, "yeah" for butt. Have you guys noticed that, or has that been around for a while?
I guess I haven't noticed.
Instead of the word butt, you say gat.
Gat, like she's got a gat. Like, essentially, got that ass, that kind of thing.
She's got a got.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard
check
that
out
one.
that gat.
So we could keep going with this.
I don't like that.
Neither do I. Not at all.
Man, she got. Is that how they...
Or maybe it's gat, like that. Yeah, I forgot the E a little bit.
She got butt.
I'm cool, man.
We could keep going with this. I mean, back when I lived at St. Cloud State, we referred to beer and liquor as get. And it's a long story. If you want me to tell it later, I can, or now, whatever. I don't care. But you'd say to your bro when we were living up at St. Cloud State, hey, man, you want to go to the liquor store and get some get? Get some get? Get was liquor. It makes sense if I tell you the whole story. Here we are back in worthless Florida, and we got a fella here who's been ordered by a judge to have no contact with his wife. And I know what some of you dudes are saying. You're saying, oh my damn, what an unthinkable horror to be ordered to stay clear of the wife. What a brutal punishment right there. But let me explain. This guy can't come anywhere near his wife, a judge said. And that's because cops had to go ahead and arrest this effing guy for throwing a damned sausage across the room. And the sausage slapped his wife smooth in her effing gorgeous face. Ray Allen is the name this dude goes with. He's 61 years old now. There was a verbal altercation between Ray and his wife a few days ago. And my guess is maybe they were getting ready to have some lunch. And old Ray was so pissed off that he picked up the sausage and he whipped that wiener at his wife, looking like Carlos Correa throwing somebody out at first base. And the wife took that sausage square off the right side of her mug and partially into her eye socket.
Oh.
Just thwack. Paramedics came by and they helped the old lady out by washing her eye out for her. And Ray was arrested for domestic battery.
That's not how you pork the wife. There's better ways to do that. All right, by the way, we have an update from the brother and sisterhood. Yeah! If I'm I don't even know how if I'm saying it right. It's short for like God D, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
It's short for what?
Damn.
Oh, God damn. Oh, that's a different spin.
Like, God. Awesome.
So now this Ray guy has been ordered to steer clear of the wife. Threw a sausage across the room, hit the wife in the face. He can't come anywhere near the wife. He's also been banned from German bars. There's too much opportunity there for him, Josh.
Way too much temptation, yeah. You got the alcohol, you got your various sausages.
Get may have been a factor, they say, in this story. They're blaming it on get. Here we go. You want to close this one out with a cute joke? You guys all seem to love this stuff, so I'm going to go ahead. It says right here, the sausage linked to the attack was not seized by the police.
Great.
You don't care about that kind of humor anymore?
I love it.
Somebody put all that effort into that, Ashley, and you just don't show any appreciation.
No, I appreciate it.
You see, what happened was way before there was a Larry the Cable Guy, when we were living up at St. Cloud State as young guys, way before there was ever a Larry the Cable Guy. This is before I even started working in radio with Larry the Cable Guy's wife.
Before she was even his wife?
Before she was even his wife. We used to say to each other, who wants to get her done? And that meant get drunk. You guys want to get her done? You want to go hit the red carpet tonight and get her done? So our slogan for drinking was get her done. So then, liquor and beer, because of the get her done slogan, was whittled down to just get. Now, does it make a little more sense to you?
That makes more sense.
Lord have mercy, this is awful. Just terrible. Some poor dude in Ohio was shot in the face. Shot in the face.
It's never good.
Because he refused to share a bag of potato chips with a total stranger. How can anyone do that?
I don't get it.
I hate when I'm eating a bag of chips and somebody asks me for one. Because, I don't want to give you one, and I don't want to give you one of my good chips either.
You rank your chips in the bag?
Yeah, the ones that have, some extra flavoring on them. And you ever, pull one out to hand one to someone, and you're like, gosh, that's such a good chip.
You have some struggles in life. You do.
Just small things.
This garbage pile human being who did the shooting, he goes by the name of Melvin Wright. He's up to 42 years Old already. He was arrested for allegedly shooting a 31-year-old man in the face last Tuesday. I'm fairly sure this nightmare took place in the city of Cleveland, Ohio. The story here says that Melvin asked the other guy for some of his potato chips while the guy was bombing him down outside an adult entertainment club called Lusty Adventures. That's where the two of them were hanging out, over at Lusty Adventures.
Well, you know what you're going to get, that's for sure.
I'd check that place out.
I'd like to see what's happening in that joint. And if I ever go to Cleveland, by God, I promise I will find out what happens at Lusty Adventures. Melvin asked the other guy, hey, can I have some chips? And the guy said, well, no. These are mine, and I plan on firing them all down. And the victim told police that at that point, Melvin busted out a large gun and shot him in the face. And then Melvin drove out of sight. Melvin was arrested shortly thereafterwards. The victim is currently in the hospital, but he did walk into the joint by himself. So hopefully that's a good sign that he wasn't as mangled as he could have been. He walked himself into the hospital.
You're going to possibly take a life and throw yours away for a couple of bucks.
I would imagine Melvin's all done. He's going to be put away for a while.
Sure hope so.
That's probably good.
And I'm with Ashley. I mean, I'll go ahead and tell you, if I buy a bag of chips, I have no plans to share with anybody. But I will share everything I have with the women at Lusty Adventures. They can have everything that I own.
If they franchise, we need one here. We got to get a Lusty Adventures. Would your new wife let you go?
There's no let or not let in my relationship, thank you very much. I am my own man, and I can do what the hell I want to do.
Oh, yeah. I remember those days. For you. Things sure have changed.
I am. I'm a kept man now, aren't I? Would my wife let me go there? I'm not Wapple. I don't have to ask permission for stuff. I'm not Dana. I'm not Ashley. All these kept people that have to ask permission. Speaking of chips and such, can we all agree that Doritos are about the best in the business?
Yeah.
They're up there, man.
100%.
Top 5.
Yeah, top 5. I would have to go Old Dutch dill pickle.
Oh!
Cheeto Puffs.
Hey,
but
Wapple.
The Lay's ones, throw them away.
Who has... Wapple? Who has 2 thumbs, can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants.
Many years ago.
And might have eaten Dutch dill pickle potato chips yesterday.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
That's good living.
Yeah.
You can't eat too many of those, though, because they tear your mouth up.
I even remember I said to the wife, I said, can I have some potato chips?
And she said, a lot of carbs in those, very high sodium content.
She did. She said, I don't know about that. How much salt have you taken in today? And I said, well, please, can I please have some? And then she came at me with a plate of microwaved cauliflower. Ooh. And I said, that's way better than chips. And then I ate the cauliflower. So I guess I'm not the guy who had dill pickle potato chips yesterday. I said, whatever you think, if I should have some. I love Doritos.
Me too. Where do you put Pringles on that list of best chips?
I forget about those.
If I'm left alone with the tube of Pringles, they're gone.
So, you got to put Pringles up there. Certainly Doritos, Cooler Ranch Doritos. And then, what are the sour cream and cheddar or cheddar and sour cream? I forget the order. Those Ruffles.
Oh, the Ruffles, yeah.
So good.
They should make a Pringles grabber, so you can barely get to the bottom.
It's called your tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just dip your tongue in there.
Flip it over, and then you got all the smashed up Pringles, and it gets all over your lap.
That's the best.
You ever heard of a paper plate, for Christ's sake? What are you, an amateur or something?
And then I get yelled at from the girlfriend because everything's messy.
Pour them onto a plate.
Yeah, are you serious? You never thought about just pouring them out or anything?
No, I have.
I don't think you have.
I had my thumb removed so I could fit my hand down a Pringles can. It was worth it.
Smart, yep.
All right, Doritos. They've had a good thing going Oh, for decades now. They have. Now, I'm not entirely sure what it is I'm telling you here, but the big news is that the folks at Doritos have created AI software to mute the sound of crunching chips, like when you're eating them. They've created crunch cancellation software. They call the gimmick Doritos Silent. It cancels out chewing noises, and I think this was created for dorks who sit online all day and have microphones up to their faces, video game people.
It's like Zoom meetings and things like that.
And anything, if you have a microphone gimmick to play video games, or if you're doing a Zoom meeting, they can hook you up with this Doritos Silent app. It works on anything that accepts a microphone. The AI technology is trained exclusively on Dorito sounds, but it will work on chips, crackers, everything. So it's made so you can stuff your face with Doritos and you're munching away and no one can hear the munchy munch. I believe I have that all correct. Tell me if I'm wrong. Light of my life, Cubby.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. Listen, I wonder if how well it actually works.
You'd have to down rig the app.
Yeah, down rig it.
Whatever the.
Oh, you got it.
I had a friend growing up, drove me crazy, drove the rest of us crazy too, the rest of our friend group, because he would call every night, just, what's going on? Junior high, high school. Just random conversation. There was nothing ever very important. But he always chose to call us while he was munching on potato chips.
Why?
He had some time set aside every night where he's going to clear out a bag of potato chips and make all of his phone calls for the evening.
That'd be so frustrating.
So it was, I don't have any chips around me, but it was, hey, what's going on? And every one of us would say, can you call me back when you're done with the... But no, that was his thing. Eat and talk on the... All right, one more for you. Did you guys know this? Did you folks know? I think I had heard this once before. You can give yourself the Heimlich maneuver on the back of a chair.
Yeah, we were taught that. I remember when they had somebody come in school to teach us about CPR and stuff like that. They mentioned that.
You can also Rochambeau yourself on the back of a chair. But the reason I bring up the self-Heimlich thing is this. A 21-year-old woman in Spain was choking on a piece of turkey last Wednesday.
Turkey's dry.
She decided her best option was to shove a toothbrush down her throat.
What?
Let's put more stuff in my airway.
Uh-oh. She shoved a toothbrush down her throat. She jammed the dull end of the toothbrush, the handle, is that what that means?
That's my guess.
Okay. Mm-hmm. She jammed the handle end into her esophagus to try to clear the turkeys. And it worked. She dislodged the turkey. It went rolling down her throat. She could breathe again. The bad news is, then she swallowed the toothbrush.
Oh.
She tried to grab the bristles, but when the turkey went down, the human reflex just kicked in and it gutted the toothbrush too.
Oh, I can't imagine the fear I would have. Just it slipping out of my hands.
Oh no, grab the plunger. We got to get this thing figured out.
Oh, I'd be like, I'm dying. This is how I die.
Just keep reaching for stuff. That's all you got to do.
She went to the doctor's office, hospital, I guess I should say. This is kind of funny. The doctors didn't believe her. They didn't believe her at first.
Why would I be lying about this?
Nobody's that ridiculous. Come on.
But then they saw the x-rays. And there it was, a toothbrush down in her boiler. They knocked her out. It took 40 minutes to fish out the toothbrush. They had to pull it out of her ass.
Well, they didn't have to. They chose to.
She requested that.
I'm kidding. They hauled it out of her yapper, and when she woke up from her operation, they gave her the toothbrush back.
That'd be pretty embarrassing. I mean, thank God she survived. Man. Don't tell anybody about the toothbrush thing, all right? HIPAA? Don't we have any rules here in Spain?
I dig that, I dig how that all played out. Oh, God, finally. The turkey. Swallows a...
I think I'd pick a different hospital next time I needed to go.
What'd the hospital do wrong?
Well, no, I'd just be embarrassed to show my face.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Everyone's nudging each other. There she is. There she friggin' is.
Sports on the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
For the goal number 800 in the last Euro. A4 is the position of Switzerland. There is some noise here that has now stopped.
Man, that's fun. Could you hear the sex noises?
Oh, yeah, I heard them.
I love the sounds of sex. Oh. What a mess that guy made. Terrible mess that guy.
I bet that was gross.
They had some kind of a dopey soccer draft somewhere where they care for soccer. Bulgaria or something. I have no idea. They're drafting players or whatever, and some YouTube guy snuck into the building and hit play on a tape recorder with loud sex noises. Everybody had a good time. That's what that audio was. People having a good time at the soccer draft, and the YouTube guy with the sex noises, and everyone went home a winner.
That probably made it a little more entertaining for viewers.
Well, of course. I'd tune into, all the dumb drafts we have here in America, the NFL draft, and I'd tune in if they were playing, porno music or porno sounds in the background. Sure, I'd watch at least 10, 20 minutes of it. Yeah. Monday Night Football, I didn't see the game last night, Jacksonville and somebody, but that quarterback for Jacksonville, the kid who looks like he plays acoustic guitar at house parties, he got hurt. He got hurt. Did. And, they're a very good football team this year, Jacksonville. They got a good record, and they're talking about maybe they'll get the number 1 seed in the AFC, but now the kid with the acoustic guitar, he's hurt. And they don't know for how long, but that could be devastating to their season, Josh.
That sounds that way. He messed up his ankle pretty good, they said.
Clowns never laughed before. Beanstalks never grew. Those are some of the songs that kid plays at parties.
Trevor Lawrence does have that look where he's going to first brush the hair off of each shoulder and then strap his guitar on and go for it.
Dude, he brushes the hair off of his shoulders before he begins playing his acoustic guitar.
And he takes a while to start, like he's really getting into it in his mind. Yes. He's preparing, and to make sure every girl in the room is looking at him.
Well, that's a damn shame, because he seems like a likable acoustic guitar player. The Wild, who, again, are suddenly the 1992 Pittsburgh Penguins, are in Alberta tonight to play the Calgary Flames. Can they keep it going? Can they win out?
I don't know if that's ever been done.
I mean, it's possible.
That would be
unlikely,
impressive.
But...
The game begins at 8 o'clock tonight on Bally Sports North. Plenty more to cover in a half hour when Randy Shaver and Janel Klein file on in, but stay tuned because Josh is going to come at you next with his news report.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud, they lose control, they do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
Stacking Benjamins with Joe and his good friend OG not only has great financial insight, it's laid back with humor too.
Joe talks with Stacking Deeds co-host Crystal Hammond.
I've always been a fan of nosy neighbors. I want nosy neighbors. They can tell you what's going on 10 times faster than you would know.
Again, what's she talking about, Doug?
Really?
We're repairing neighborhoods, but then we're into nosy neighbors, and I built a career off of that.
Find out more by searching the Stacking Benjamins podcast, wherever you listen.
Half-assed morning show. 93X.
It's scary to know that your child's in there and someone's trying to get in.
Your mind immediately races to, oh my God, is there going to be a shooting? Is there going to be something terrible or some sort of crazy?
Officials are issuing a warning after 3 men have been attempting to get into Massachusetts schools without reason. Lowell Public Schools sent an email out to families informing them 3 people denied entry at their schools. It's our understanding law enforcement has recently been involved in similar incidents in other districts throughout the Commonwealth, the email read. The Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents was also warned about the attempts at 3 separate schools, including a high school, elementary school, and a preschool.
It's scary to know that your child's in there.
One was a high school, one was an elementary, one was a preschool. These were individuals who were giving false information to school authorities about why they were present on the school campus.
What the hell are these? What are they doing?
They're trying to figure it out. Obviously, they're scared. An FBI, or I should say concerned, a report by FBI Boston stated between October 18th to November 9th said there was at least 3 instances where men either entered or attempted to enter schools in Massachusetts without any legitimate purpose. Around 4 p.m. October 18th, a man approached a daycare claiming to work for Verizon. Employees stated the male was carrying a backpack and appeared to take an interest in the school and especially the children, the report states.
For Christ's sake.
Employees also confirmed Verizon did not have a person in the area and that if they did, they would be able to provide identification upon request. About 5:15 p.m. November 2nd, the FBI reported another man entered a high school. He walked around and took multiple pictures and videos of the building. The male had a Russian-sounding accent and couldn't explain why he was in the building when confronted by staff, the report read. Then around 8 a.m. November 9th, another man wearing all black and carrying a backpack attempted to go inside an elementary school but was stopped by a teacher. He had a red lanyard around his neck with a handwritten card on it. A teacher stopped him and told him he couldn't enter, the FBI wrote. The man told the teacher he wanted to charge his cell phone. The assistant principal told officials it appeared the man's phone was already charged and told him he could not get inside the school. Trying to figure out what's going on there. And what started as a trivial altercation at a Chick-fil-A ended in a serious road rage incident that left 36-year-old Donovan Matthews facing multiple felony charges.
Can't imagine how someone could be triggered that bad, that quick, to do what that gentleman did.
The catalyst for the violent escalation? A cup of cold coffee. The incident began when Matthews got into a heated argument with a man and woman in another vehicle. The situation took a turn for the worse when one of them threw a cup of cold coffee at Matthews and then drove off. Matthews didn't let that slide, and he decided to chase the duo in his car. Then, in a dangerous turn of events, he intentionally rammed their vehicle, but the confrontation didn't end there. After the collision, both parties got out of their cars, which was a mistake.
It just shocked me to see that someone could get that mad to the point of totally ruining their lives, the young couple.
Matthews continued to argue and even attempted to strike the woman. Her male companion intervened, however, leading to a physical fight between he and Matthews. The sheriff's office said as the 2 men tussled, the woman brandished a gun. Out of fear, the woman took an unloaded rifle out of the truck in an attempt to stop Matthews from fighting with the man, police said. As for Matthews, he now faces serious legal consequences. The sheriff's office said charges against the coffee thrower are pending.
The coffee thrower?
Yeah.
That's great. Everything's great.
Everybody's temper was hotter than the coffee, I guess, luckily. A man who threw a pot of hot frying oil on an employee of a Georgia Popeyes will do hard time for that attack. Ow-wee.
Yeah.
25-year-old Jordan Duncan was sentenced Thursday to 3 years in prison after admitting he launched the hot grease at Popeyes worker Kelvin Early. Duncan was at the restaurant to pick up his last paycheck from when he worked there. He reportedly grabbed a pot, stuck it into the fryer, and then threw the grease onto Early, who suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns as a result.
Oh, that's a hot. That would just be a terrible, stingy kind of a thing.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
It was unclear why he threw the oil literally, but Duncan's lawyer, his mom, and even Duncan himself testified that he had some substance abuse problems.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Doesn't sound like this poor guy did anything.
Oh,
He's just
man.
working his shift, and this was what happened.
I'm glad your substance abuse problem could come back to haunt everyone else in the building.
Yeah, now it's my problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Glad it could become everyone else's problem. Appreciate that.
A woman found herself behind bars after hurling cinder blocks at a man and his car after she rear-ended him in a grocery store parking lot. A 54-year-old woman named Patricia was arrested and charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and hit and run after an incident that unfolded shortly before 9 p.m. on a Saturday late last month. A man called 911 after a woman backed her car into his in a Publix parking lot. The woman, later identified as Mamane, fled the scene, but the man followed her while on the phone with dispatch. His pursuit led them to a residential area where they both got out of their cars. She grabbed 3 cinder blocks from a driveway and began to throw them at the man, deputies said. One of the cinder blocks hit him in the shin. Shortly after, the woman got back into her car in an attempt to flee the scene again, but the man grabbed 2 of the cinder blocks and placed them under her front tires so she couldn't leave. That's quick thinking. She, however, fled on foot, in high heels, police said. The man told deputies he didn't know who the woman was and hadn't had any previous interactions with her and has no idea why she crashed into him. Police eventually caught up with her and said she was extremely intoxicated. Sounds like she also has some sort of abuse issues. She was taken into custody.
I'm not even sure I could lift a cinder block, let alone throw one. That's impressive.
Yeah, I don't think you could. Also at a Publix.
No.
Wonder no more, Dana.
How quickly you moved on after saying that just
Wonder
killed me.
no more. Also at a Publix, a woman is behind bars after she robbed a Publix and threatened to blow it up on Saturday. According to a police statement, the woman, identified as Rebecca Rodriguez, allegedly walked into the supermarket and handed a note to an employee demanding money or she would blow the grocery store up. The employee was able to get Rodriguez's license tag as she fled the scene. Officials later spotted her car and pulled her over during a traffic stop where she was arrested. Last Tuesday at Busybody Gym in Palm Beach Gardens, Florida, a 47-year-old smooth criminal named Michael Jackson banged on the windows, screamed vulgar obscenities, exposed himself, and challenged gym-goers to fight him with their fake muscles.
I dig this guy already. I do. I dig him.
The entrance to the gym was locked, and patrons had stopped working out due to fear of the 47-year-old man gaining entry. When a Palm Beach Gardens police officer arrived to tell Michael Jackson to beat it, he was reportedly argumentative, and then he took an interesting tactic to defend himself. He began citing U.S. constitutional statutes. Jackson confessed to the officer he was angry with the gym-goers because of their fake muscles and ability to sleep with beautiful women, quote-unquote.
You've got to be kidding me.
Amid the disturbance, he allegedly gave the crowd quite a thriller by pulling his pants down and exposing himself, which, of course, was bad. Michael Jackson was ultimately taken to the Palm Beach County Jail due to his alleged actions and charged with disorderly conduct and indecent exposure.
He was mad because some of the folks at the gym might be having sex with beautiful people.
Yeah, he didn't like their physiques and the fact that they were Landon ladies.
Hoo-wee.
The owner of a Michigan restaurant is facing charges for allegedly setting up surveillance cameras which recorded people while they were all naked and stuff. 49-year-old Edward Witowski, the owner of Morsels, is charged with using a computer to commit a crime. 3 counts of capturing an image of an unclothed person and lying to a police officer. The investigation included searches of the restaurant and his home, but not many more details were released. You're not expecting that going to your favorite bakery or eatery?
I am not.
Recording while you're going number 2 or whatever you're doing in there? A car crashed into a Longwood, Florida psychic shop in the middle of a card reading Sunday, and nobody saw it coming. Fire officials said the car was that crashed into the dining room area of Madame Catherine Fortune Telling after the driver had a medical episode. The driver was taken to a hospital as a trauma alert for a seizure, though no details were provided about whether that happened before or after the crash. Meanwhile, another patient was taken to the hospital with minor injuries after being struck by debris.
That sucks.
Wait, she's a fortune teller?
Yeah.
Shouldn't she have saw that coming?
Totally. Wait, whoa. Josh made that joke to start the story.
I did, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I don't understand what happens with some of you
I
folks.
tried to sneak them in very subtly, so it's all right.
Snuck past me.
Yeah, it did. The perception of today's teens doing nothing but vaping and dangerous viral TikTok trends is being challenged by a trio of heroics from 3 teen girls making headlines around the world. First, in Australia, a 14-year-old has been honored for helping stop a bus full of students which began rolling toward a gas station.
The principal said that if Izzy hadn't acted the way that she did that day, that he would have been making some very different phone calls that week.
Izzy Miller leaped into action November 22nd after noticing a bus parked at a local high school in New South Wales somehow rolled away without the driver behind the wheel. She quickly noticed the danger they were in and jumped into the vehicle and hit the brakes, which she said was a total guess since she didn't know how to drive.
No.
The teen steered the bus away from the mini-mart as well as oncoming traffic, pedestrians, and more than 3 parked cars. They said it may have crashed right into a gas pump. It looked like it was headed right towards one.
I'll be damned.
A 13-year-old Minnesota girl had to take the wheel when her mother experienced a medical emergency while driving down the highway. At 8:51 p.m. that night, dispatch received a call from a girl who said her mom wasn't responding when she asked her to slow down. While emergency responders were en route, the dispatch continued to talk with the girl, guiding her on how to communicate with her mother and then how to slow the vehicle on her own. It eventually came to a stop, and medical responders provided care to the 54-year-old mom. No details were provided as to the nature of her emergency.
You got some real deal heroes out there, Josh.
I know. These teen girls are making a difference. And a California teen is being hailed a hero for saving a 3-year-old relative from drowning at a Thanksgiving gathering by using CPR skills she learned in school.
It's a Thanksgiving miracle. We were able to celebrate Thanksgiving in a different way, right? It was about how precious life is and how things can change in the blink of an eye.
Sophomore recently learned and had been certified in CPR through a sports medicine class. And although it was her first time performing it, she said she knew what to do and didn't hesitate.
I'm literally watching a 15-year-old girl basically bring back our niece, a 3-year-old, to life.
The American Heart Association states that only 40% of people who need bystander CPR receive it. The medical group encourages all people to learn CPR through viral or in-person classes. Thieves are targeting St. Paul's iconic lantern-style light posts and stealing the copper wiring. In fact, the city's public works director estimates several thousand light posts have been hit so far, and it's leaving several areas in the dark.
Remind people that they're not there to cast a romantic glow. They're for safety, and so it's dangerous to drive, to walk, to bike, to push a stroller across the street.
Officials first started noticing the problem in 2021. Since then, crews have tried a variety of enforcement methods, from wrapping the posts with a metal band to welding the bases shut, even using technology that notifies police when a circuit is cut, which has resulted in some suspects being caught. The city council is also investing about $800,000 in replacing the posts and creating solutions to prevent the thefts from occurring.
This is more than just a person out doing this work. It feels pretty desperate, but I suppose when you go back again and again and keep collecting it over time, it adds up.
Thieves may get upwards of $30 for the copper, but it costs the city about $2,500 to fully restore just one light post. Elsewhere in St. Paul, thieves have ripped wire from air conditioning units, electric vehicle charging stations, traffic signals, and thieves have even ripped telephone communication lines straight out of the ground.
I just don't understand what it is we're doing anymore.
I thought thieves had moved on from copper wiring. We're just stealing cars nowadays.
Well, it's a little
There's no
everything.
respect for anything anymore. No
everything.
respect for anything at all.
They are well-versed in many different disciplines, Dana. Bill Burr is on Jimmy Kimmel tonight, and Elizabeth Banks joins Seth Meyers. Frankie Muniz of Malcolm in the Middle turns 38 today.
I wonder how he's doing.
Say what?
I wonder how he's doing.
Terrible. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, he's out there stealing copper wire. He's down on his luck.
He's not doing that.
No, he's not. He's doing fine.
Terrible.
More anxiety than hair Jesus checked in with a shout out to himself today. He's got a second interview. And he says he hates interviewing so much his stress and anxiety levels are higher than the entire Doink Gang combined. And the Doink Gang, Wapple's group of friends, like to get high. Yeah, best of luck on your second interview today. Big Dreams, Small Wiener Jesus gives us the great pleasure of introducing Archie, the newest member of the Brotherhood. Congratulations to Mom and Dad. Happy belated birthday to Ross from your lady, Double D's Jesus. Happy 46th birthday to Big Red Jesus. That's a birthday shout out from your little bro. 2 pump, 3 squirt Jesus. And that's 93X News.
KARE 11's Randy Shaver.
Big time onions. Goodness.
On the Half-Assed Morning Show.
I could play maybe Tears in Heaven, Eric Clapton.
Wow. The Bengals jumped offside. Oh, I got this.
Please, no. No one wants to hear you sing.
Keep going, Tua. Keep going. You're perfect. Great job of using the cadence.
You need to work on your cadence. Singing.
What's going on there? The Manning brothers played some songs during their show last night?
Yeah, they had Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa.
There you go.
Playing a little guitar. He's a talented guy. It's been fun watching him on Hard Knocks because he's different than what you might expect from an NFL player.
He plays the guitar.
He plays the guitar and well, it sounds like.
Manning boys don't sing so well, though, do they?
No.
That's all right.
I'm used to him singing Nationwide is on Your Side.
Hello, Randy Shaver.
Yeah, he nails that one.
Yeah.
Randy?
Yeah?
Randy's here.
There he is.
Good morning.
Don't touch that dial. Janel Klein is here, too.
Oh, there's the showstopper.
Yeah, you stopped a few people in their tracks, I think.
Hello, Jungle Jane.
Good morning, good morning.
What's going on with you?
Oh, not too much.
I hear
A
you.
little slick out there.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
is it really?
Yeah.
Is it snowing right now?
No, but the roads are coated and a little dicey.
Gotcha. I don't like that.
You're a little dicey.
A little dicey and spicy, Randy.
There ain't no friggin' question about that. Spicy. I don't know about dicey. All right, Randy Shaver, Janel Klein, great to have you on board. We were talking a little bit earlier, about last night's Monday Night Football game. I didn't see a minute of it. I was watching a documentary on Anna Nicole Smith, Wah-Wah-Wee-Wah. That's what I did last night. I watched a documentary on the life and times of Anna Nicole Smith. It was very sad. So I missed the football game. But the big news out of that ball game, that quarterback for Jacksonville, who always looks like he's fresh off taking his prom pictures, doesn't he?
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, he hurt himself.
Lawrence goes down. Ball came out, and Lawrence is grabbing at his leg, and he is in serious pain. That is the left tackle, Walker Little, who stepped back on the inside of the ankle of Trevor Lawrence.
Oh, no. He got stepped on by his own player?
Yeah.
It sucks.
I bet he's going to be sitting alone in the locker room.
Well, that's a damn shame because Jacksonville was having a pretty good time so far this year, weren't they, Randy?
They are. I think they're sitting right now at 8-4 on the season, which is pretty good. I think it's just an ankle sprain. I think there was some speculation last night that it might be something worse than that, but I was reading this morning it's just a sprain, but he's going to be out for at least a week, if not more. And the guy that played for them last night, C.J. Beathard, struggled a little bit. It was late in the game, but got him in a position to get him to overtime at least. But yeah, they're a good football team. It's too bad.
The Bengals won by 3.
Right now we've seen 7, 8 quarterbacks go down.
Some of them have had
this
it,
year.
but here's the thing: some of them had it coming, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I suppose you could
Some
say
of them
that.
had it coming.
Who leads that charge? Who's
Take
number
a wild
one?
friggin' guess.
I can't figure out where you're going with this.
Take a wild guess who leads that. C.J. Beathard, you said. Beathard takes over for Lawrence. Well, the Bengals have the same problem, right?
Yeah, the Browning
Janelle's
kid-
little boyfriend, he can't play yet.
No, Browning was really good last
Mm-hmm.
night.
Joe Burrow can't play.
Former Viking, Jake Browning.
Former Viking, Jake Browning. I never could have told you that.
Does Joe just stand on the sidelines and smoke cigars? I wish.
Just dripping in jewelry.
Yeah.
Shirtless.
Yeah.
He's smoking, by God, he is.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's a damn shame. Little Trevor Lawrence has his ankle give way on him last night. His own teammate steps on him. Well, those offensive linemen, they're big dudes. If they step on you, you're going to feel it.
Yeah, no doubt. And those are the kind of things you can't prepare for, right? You're not expecting that, so you're not in a position to protect yourself. So
Oh, man. I know how that offensive tackle feels. I think they said his name was something or another Little. Doesn't matter. The big offensive lineman that stepped on Joey Lawrence last night. I know how he feels playing youth football. We had a damn good ball club. A lot of my buddies were on the team. It was a great time. And usually youth football bored the living hell out of me, but we had a great team and we're having a good time. During a very cold morning, we were playing, Randy Shaver and Janel Klein. And while we were just playing catch during warm-ups, one of our best offensive linemen, just reaching up to catch the football, he split one of his fingernails in half.
Oh,
Ouch.
that's painful.
No.
Cracked it right in half. Oh, man. He was shaking his hand out. I mean, it hurt like hell. Split his fingernail in half. And he was one of our best offensive linemen. And coach wrapped it up with some tape. But the kid was just in terrible pain for the whole first half. He's bleeding all over himself. But he's still out there playing. But, man, at halftime, the kid was miserable. And you know how we used to set it up, Randy Shaver in youth football? For halftime, we all just sat on our asses while the coach stood between us and barked out whatever improvements he thought we needed. Well, what's so funny?
I don't know. I
Just picturing us sitting on
crisscross applesauce and the coach yelling at you.
Well, yelling. Some of it was positive, to be honest with you. But anyway, we're sitting on our asses with our hands behind us to prop ourselves up. And I got a little thirsty during the halftime speech, but I couldn't find any water bottles. And I'm kind of walking around. The coach is still barking. Everyone's sitting. And I'm walking around. Where the hell is the friggin' water? Crunch. I stepped on that kid's finger.
No.
Who had split his friggin' thumb.
What's his finger doing on the ground?
Well, like I said, we were sitting on our asses, Ray. You weren't listening, Randy?
Yeah, but...
Sitting on our asses with our hands behind us to prop us up. Was that hard to understand?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like leaning back.
And so I'm going, whoop, stole the friggin', stepped right on that finger that had the split fingernail. I mean, I ain't kidding you. The kid reacted like this. I mean, I sent him in.
You cleated him?
And the coach is like, Bourne, sit your narrow ass down.
Nick, what position were you?
I was like the four-back, like a wing-back, Randy Shaver, Janel Klein. That was my thing on offense. And then on defense, I was a defensive back, which was really exciting because I think the other team threw the ball maybe 4 or 5 times that year.
There's a reason why you were there.
What does that mean?
Playing defensive back.
Explain yourself.
There's a well, we would always put the the least talented athlete at the safety position in youth football, knowing that likely the team wasn't going to throw and hopefully he wouldn't have to make the last tackle before a touchdown.
Oh, that reminds me. Blow me. You couldn't be more wrong, Randy Shaver. I don't want to hear your problems from your youth football career.
I'm just telling you the strategy.
I could play the game.
Yeah, I'm just saying what the strategy was.
Yeah, maybe that's Iowegian strategy.
No.
I was the Carl Kasulki of that operation.
Oh.
I was the Paul Krause of that operation. Or for you young kids, what's his name? Everyone loves the kid that plays safety now for the Vikings.
Harrison Smith?
Yeah, I was the Harrison Smith. You can go ahead. You're always so afraid, Randy isn't he, Josh? When anyone else had any youth sports success, he gets defensive.
No.
And he has to...
I'm just saying that was the strategy, and I can understand why your coach put you there.
I don't know what you were doing during that time period of youth sports, but for me personally, after that game, I took my football helmet off, put my hockey helmet on, and then scored 5 goals against Minnetonka. Would you go ahead with your smart-ass comments?
Sorry I chimed in.
I knew exactly what was coming, too.
I got to be honest. I'm quite glad you did.
Yeah.
I knew exactly.
Yeah,
He does that every time. He does that every time. Okay,
I don't do it every time.
Randy.
Yes?
We acknowledge, yes, you were an excellent athlete when you were a kid. We acknowledge that.
I never said anything about me.
I don't know if this means anything to any of you, but next Monday night, for the first time, the NFL is going to broadcast 2 simultaneous Monday night football games.
Why?
I don't know, because they're idiots. But that means that Peyton and Eli Manning, who we just heard in the intro, will be following 2 games at the same time on their Manning program.
Sure.
Whatever they call that show again, the Manning Cast.
Yep.
Green Bay Packers and the New York Giants play, and at the same time, the Titans and Dolphins. And there'll be limited commercial breaks. These guys are going to be cooked, Peyton and Eli.
They'll be busy.
2 games at once. That's next Monday night. This is great. I got my junior high football buddies texting me to back me up.
No way.
Yeah.
Once a team, always a team.
That's right. Team members for life.
Are you sure they're backing you up?
Well, yeah, thanks, Dougie. Dougie texted in. That peckerhead could play back in the day. Let me see. I'm trying to find this text. You can tell Randy that I testify you were a really good youth athlete.
Oh, man.
Dougie Brown, one of my favorite people in the whole world. Thanks for texting in, Dougie. What else is going on?
Thanks, Dougie.
What am I doing here? Here's something you don't hear very often. The New York Jets are, quote, leaning towards putting the MILF man, Zach Wilson, back in as their starting quarterback. Yes, Randy?
He doesn't want to play.
It's kind of hilarious.
He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to go in. I don't blame him.
They tried a couple other guys out in the last few ball games.
Oh, it's been awful.
But it didn't work. It hasn't worked out. So the Jets said, what about you, MILF man? You want to try it again? And apparently it says here he's reluctant to step back in as the starting quarterback. Well, what the hell is that?
Well, I would be too.
Why?
Because they've just been pounding on the guy.
Well, but he's getting paid millions of dollars. Do your job.
And he's pounding all of our moms.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Right, Randy Shaver? He's getting paid a lot of money. What do you mean you're reluctant to step?
Sure he is, but the guy, I mean, we're all human, right? I mean, the guy's just been through the ringer with the team itself, with the fans, with the media.
Physically and mentally, he's just drained.
God, he's just been. I mean, imagine the guy's just been filleted all season long.
Oh, he's terrible. God, get him out of here. Well,
Exactly.
maybe we need him back. But hey, he's not doing that bad. Oh, he's terrible again.
We said some things, MILF man, and we got some stuff to apologize for. Why don't you put on the uniform again and get out there?
So, okay.
Well,
I understand that they're not a very good football team. He gets his ass whooped when he's out there. But is it okay? I didn't even consider this. Is it a personal thing? Did the Jets coach or GM say something about him that he didn't like?
I don't know if they said anything to him.
It's a personal thing, maybe?
I just think that he's had enough. I mean,
it was more or less hinted at with Robert Saleh that he doesn't like Zach Wilson.
What does it mean to be Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh?
He's the head coach of the Jets.
Oh, God help us. I thought you were naming like those combination couples.
Like a combination of Selena Gomez and Robert Smith or something?
Robert Saleh. The coach hinted some things, you say, Wapple.
Yeah, he couldn't, in press conferences, he really couldn't just go out there and say, well, I don't want Zach Wilson here. But he was hinting at it a lot.
All right.
They did seem to back him for a long time, though. Didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, he's our guy. I mean, we're not super excited about it.
Well, they didn't really have a choice either.
Excited about it, but
all right,
I guess you'll do.
Maybe I have a better understanding here then as to what's going through the head of the MILF man.
No, you're right, though. The guy's being paid millions. He knows he's a backup quarterback, and you're supposed to go in when they need you.
Right.
Sure.
But you can certainly understand him going, oh, man, why does it have to be me?
And he might be pissed off at some measure of disrespect. You know how sensitive these guys are? By God. Pro athletes are some of the most sensitive sons of bitches on planet Earth, and they have the longest memory of most out of all human beings. They remember a guy who slighted them in 3rd grade. That's part of what makes them so competitive and so good at what they do.
Even youth athletes get angry at each other, I've learned this morning. Sometimes they go head to head.
Nick, is that guy with the bad fingernails still angry?
Haven't seen him in years. He better not be mad. I mean, he was just an offensive lineman. It was guys like me and Dougie Brown that carried that friggin' club. What are you mad at? We won you a division title. Putz. Get tougher fingernails next time. You know what? Next time I run into this guy, we're going to have a little conversation.
Get tougher fingernails.
Yeah. Grow some real fingernails, bitch.
Wow.
Get tougher fingernails.
Thank you, Janelle. It never dawned on me until now that none of that was my fault. Guy had tougher fingernails, we wouldn't be having that conversation.
If the water bottles were closer to you, you could find them.
Who hid the water bottles, Wapple?
Now the water guy's in trouble.
Yeah.
Me and Dougie been carrying the football. We might be a little thirsty.
Yeah.
Right, now isn't this perfect? I was reading this in the Star Tribune. It's perfect if it all plays out the way the Star Trib imagines it. The Vikings' biggest playoff threat right now is the Packers. That's perfect.
Yeah. Which is making that New Year's Eve game even more important.
Yes, absolutely.
Packers have looked good. We actually got quite a few texts yesterday from listeners saying, and we just blew right past it. I know personally, I'll take the blame. I just wasn't thinking at all about talking about the Green Bay Packers Sunday night victory over whoever the hell they beat.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
We got a lot of texts saying, how come you're not talking about it? I just smooth forgot. And plus, like I said before, without the gas bag there, they just don't really enter my mind anymore, the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, I feel you.
Right?
Same here.
Since the gas bag left, they're just like the least interesting thing around. So that's why it didn't come to mind. But okay, here we go. Like Randy said, the New Year's Eve game could be huge. And that's fun.
Yeah.
I just looked on StubHub for that New Year's Eve game. The cheapest ticket to get into the new Metrodome, $250.
Whoa.
Oh, man. That's the cheapest?
That's the cheapest.
I wouldn't give you $3 to get into the new Metrodome. Does anyone pay attention to playoff simulators, things like that, with the percentages and things like that?
Oh, kind of.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Here's what it says, Randy Shaver. The Vikings' chances of making the playoffs are down to 42%. And it was at 80 a few weeks ago when the Pastronaut had everyone thinking grand things. The Vikings' chances of making the playoffs are down to 42%. The Packers, meanwhile, have shot up to a 71% chance of making it. There's something mentioned
probably
here.
Based on the quarterback situation for both teams at this point.
Well, also, Randy Shaver, they mentioned that the upcoming remaining schedule for the Packers is SAWFT soft.
Yes, for Green Bay.
But good, okay. We've got a reason to care about the Packers again. I'm fine with that. And they don't bother me as much also since the gas bag left town to do nothing. Don't bother me. They bothered the hell out of me when he was back there. Oh, God, I would just be sick to my stomach just at the sight of him.
Yeah, I think you shared that with a lot of Vikings fans, for sure. Or maybe even just football fans.
Football fans, right.
They do have an easy schedule coming up.
Who's that, Green Bay?
Yeah.
Tell us about it, Wapple.
You got the Giants, then the Bucks, then the Panthers, then the Vikings, then the Bears.
Ooh, that is pretty bad.
Yeah, that's soft.
How do you spell that?
SAWFT, I think.
Soft. Speaking of quarterbacks, former Viking Jared Allen says that the Vikings shouldn't bring back Captain Deathrocks. Shouldn't. He was on somebody's, what do you call that gimmick again? Podcast. And he pretty much says it's all over for Deathrocks. Says it's a no-brainer. Nothing personal, he says. But what are you going to pay him $25 to $30 million a year after blowing out his Achilles? Sorry, the ride's done, he says.
I think there's quite a few people that probably agree with that.
Yeah, and if you follow this kind of thing, he's up for the Pro Football Hall of Fame again. Not Cousins, but Jared Allen. I don't know. I don't get too wound up about this. You want to rap about this, Randy?
Without not knowing the rest of who's up for election this year. It's hard for me to.
Well, they talk about
speculate.
Julius Peppers as a shoe-in.
Yeah.
So that might keep
can see
Allen, away from the Hall of Fame again. I don't know, whatever.
It just depends on how, because they normally take about 10 guys, right? It's normally 8 to 10 guys.
What is
the
it?
classes are usually larger.
It says here a maximum of 5 modern era finalists can be selected.
Yeah.
You got the modern era, you got the old timers. That's where I get lost, is there's so many different ways now to get into the Hall of Fame.
Well, we don't want to go down that path this morning, because I'll go off on the Jim Marshall situation.
I've heard you before, and it's if you want to go off, it's a healthy thing.
No, I
feel better after hollering at you earlier.
You know how much I care about that and care about him, and I just think that it's just unbelievable that
we know
man is not in the Hall of Fame.
We care about them too. Yes, you're correct. It hurts. It hurts to think that some of those guys have been neglected. What is owed to them? And they throw some names in here about some of the other folks in line for the NFL Hall of Fame. Antonio.
And I will say this about this: if they put Jim Marshall in after he's gone, Viking fans should just go nuts. Are you kidding me? At some point, you'd put him in, after he's passed.
Yeah,
that's awful.
Yeah,
the man is still around. He's still with us. Put the guy in the Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
If they don't, Randy will be cutting a deuce into a Wonder Bread bag and throwing it at the Hall of Fame.
I will be stepping on your fingers. Hall of Fame. I will be stepping on all of your fingers.
Yeah.
Stick your fingers out there. See what happens.
They mentioned guys like Antonio's Gates and Tiki's Barber and Anquan's Bolden and Dwight's Freeney, Eddie's George, James Harrison.
Devin Hester.
Kluwe should induct him.
I mean,
he'll get there.
I mean, those are really good players, but when I look at guys like a Jim Marshall, they don't compare. I'm sorry.
I hear
you.
Don't. I hear you knocking.
So.
Nick Saban. He's the head coach of Alabama's college football club.
Yeah.
I can't stand the sight of that guy, and I know I'm not alone with that either. But even he didn't deserve this. Somebody put Nick Saban's cell phone number up on social media.
That's pretty funny.
Jesus, I bet that was a hell of a deal. Morons calling up and down.
Heck yeah.
You ever interviewed him in your college football coverage, Janel Klein? Nick Saban?
I have. Mm-hmm.
Nice guy.
He is nice.
No, he is not.
Did he ask about us?
Did he ask about it?
You know, when you...
Yes, Dana, he did.
Like,
it was
why?
amazing.
Why do you do that, Did
he ask about us?
So, of course, the big hubbub is that undefeated Florida State got left out of the college football playoff.
Right.
And one-loss Alabama got in, so Saban's been getting nonstop calls. He said 250 anonymous callers in one day. He said calling them every name in the book, talking about how Alabama shouldn't be in the playoff.
Well, it's not his fault.
Well, who cares?
All he did was go out and beat Georgia. Give the guy some credit.
Well, but when you get a guy's phone number like that, yeah, you can call him up, blame him for everything.
How did they get his number?
I don't know. Some lowlife figured it out and threw it up on social media. It's right up there with all of Dana's reviews of the Fast and Furious movies. He says, I don't know how the hell they got my number, but it's out there. Janelle, did you hear that terrible story yesterday about some Oklahoma State frat house before they played Texas? The Longhorns, by the way, is their nickname.
Yeah.
Before they played Texas in the Big 12 championship game, they had a dead longhorn laid out on the frat house lawn.
I did see that.
And it had its stomach cut out, and it had what's the word I'm looking for? Vulgar words etched into its body.
Yeah.
Terrible story. The story today is that at least authorities, they don't believe that the frat house guys killed the animal. It was already dead. I don't know if that makes anyone feel any better.
Where are you going to find that?
Who killed the animal? And B, how did it get to the front lawn of the frat house?
Well, they said it died of disease. So they found that the word is they found a dead one. How'd they get it there? They got that trailer.
I guess that makes it a little bit better that it was already dead, maybe.
But still, it's sick.
Yeah, it's still a little sick, yeah.
Yeah, that's
friggin' sick.
Like, at no point in loading the thing up and transporting it did they think, hey, this might not be the best idea.
And I'm telling you, those things are heavy. Like, this took a lot of work.
I'd like to think there was one guy that's like, hey, maybe we're going a little too far here.
Yeah,
Frat
they
brothers.
told him to shut up and called him a loser.
The Josh of the group.
The Josh of the group.
Yeah, we can be just as effective if we make one out of paper mache, fellas.
Just as effective. Oh, my God. That is the Josh of the group right there.
It was already dead, they say. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if I buy that.
I don't know.
What frat brothers are like cruising around rural Texas looking for a dead longhorn?
Well, you'd be surprised, Janel.
They're on a beer cruise, a BC.
Yo.
Beer cruise? Yeah. What is that? What's a beer cruise?
I don't know.
Bunch of dudes driving around drinking beer.
Yeah.
Well,
oh.
They gave that a much cuter name years ago. They're called road sodas.
Wow.
Please don't embarrass the situation by calling it a beer cruise. Come on, you guys are more creative than that. Janelle, I'm surprised by you.
Well, I didn't make it up. I just...
What's happening? Never heard you go after Janelle with such fervor.
Road sodas. Randy, you want to wait a few days before we get into the details of the what the hell's the name of that bowl the Gophers are playing in again?
Oh, God.
Quick Lane?
The Quick Lane Bowl?
Who gives a
You want to... I was going to go through matchups.
Break it down position by position.
No, you weren't.
The Calgary Flames and the Man Bear Pigs are scheduled to play ice hockey tonight. It's going to be televised 8 o'clock on...
Keep that winning streak going.
Bally Sports North. The Pigs are, of course, a completely different hockey club the last few days.
Yeah.
I saw Yard Barker, a website called Yard Barker. They have their own little NHL power rankings. It's nothing terribly impressive. The Pigs sit in the 21st spot in the overall rankings, but you might find it interesting what was written about the coaching change the club pulled off a few days ago. Remember, they told the spray tan man that they'd seen enough, and they signed up John Hines to coach the club. Look up John Hines, and then look up former WWE wrestler Gene Snitsky and tell me they aren't separated at birth. Whopper, you remember Gene Snitsky?
No.
Dana?
No, I don't.
He's jacked.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Gene Snitsky.
Gene Snitsky. I think his whole gimmick was that he was just sweaty and disgusting and spit when he talked.
Kind of looks like it.
Yeah, every picture, he is very sweaty.
But doesn't he kind of look like John Hines? Gene Snitsky?
Yeah, with hair.
Oh, yeah, look at him when he lost his hair, Snitsky. For a while he had hairs, and then he shaved it.
Yeah, he's bald in a lot of these photos.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah.
Strong beard, though.
Totally.
They look alike. They say the Dean Evison firing might go down as one of the more shocking coaching transactions, but not because, this is a writer from Yard Barker talking, not because this writer thought the Wild were doing well, because it seemed like they were aware the issue mostly stemmed from injuries and bad goaltending. But they say so far it's worked. The Wild have won 3 straight. They're holding all of their opponents, below a goal, 2 or fewer goals, that kind of a thing. And it is working so far.
Yeah, it is.
And John Hines does look like Gene Snitsky. I'm surprised you guys don't remember him. He was just such an odd character back in the day. Oh, speaking of the Wild, right now in the Luther Bloomington Kia, how do you say that, John?
Kia.
Right now in the Luther Bloomington Kia text line, text GOAL, GOAL, to 651-989-9393 for a shot to win tickets to see the Pigs and the Flames. It'll be next Thursday at XL Energy Center, and that prize is furnished by the Wild. We appreciate that. GOAL is the word to text into 651-989-9393.
That sounds fun and all, but I sure hope there's a place to watch it with Wapple next week.
Oh, gosh. You could even watch it tonight if you want.
With you?
Yeah.
Where?
Floyd's in Victoria from 8 to 10. Come win Wild Sweet tickets.
That'll be great for your immune system.
Yeah.
Staying up late.
Yeah.
What's the problem?
He's feeling a little under the weather.
Hasn't been the best of days, health-wise.
Why don't you just ask Ashley to do the gig?
You want to do the gig, Ashley?
The bar would appreciate that.
Tonight? No, I planned. Sorry, Wapple.
Dana?
Sure.
All right, meet Dana. Victoria.
The enthusiasm.
Sure.
You know how I'm not a big fan of the nickname there, the Wild. We've discussed this many times. That's part of the reason why we started calling them the Man Bear Pigs. Wild. Dumb team name. You guys remember some of the potential names for that club when they were firing it up?
Yeah. Like the Polars or something?
See, you're thinking of the Timberwolves there, Dana,
Okay.
when you say Polars. The other potential names for the Wild.
There was like the Freeze. Wasn't that one of them?
That's right.
Like Northern
Cubby.
Stars?
Well, Northern Lights.
No, oh yeah, duh.
Right.
I guess I couldn't use Northern Stars.
I was going to say, that might get confusing.
I wonder why you thought of that.
Yeah.
Well, they were the Blue Ox.
Yep.
The Northern Lights. The White Bear. White Bears, the Freeze, and the Voyagers. Okay. An article popped up here a few days ago on some of the potential names that big-time ball clubs considered. Blue Ox, Northern Lights, White Bears, Freeze, and Voyagers were the choices there. Along with the Wild, of course, and they went with Wild, and I don't like it. I was actually partial at the time, 23 years ago, to the Voyagers.
The Blue Ox.
That'd be cool. I'm just thinking of the mascot possibilities for Blue Ox. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And then you just have flannel jerseys.
If they would have said ox, well, yeah, what?
Blue Oxen?
Oxen. Yeah, that'd be cool. For the Timberwolves, the Blizzard and the Polars. I like Polars. I did.
That's I never knew that. That was my my mascot, our name of our teams growing up high school.
Right.
Sure.
North St. Paul.
Polars.
Not that I have a problem with Timberwolves. It's great. But Polars would have been fine by me, too. Here are some others for you. The San Jose Sharks, they considered calling them the Rubber Puckies.
After the Duckies.
The Rubber Puckies. They considered this...
Rubber Puckies, you're the one. You make
nice
hockey time lots of fun.
They considered the Screaming Squids.
No, that's awful. No.
I wonder how much they actually considered some of these.
Yeah.
And Salty Dogs was also in the running. You want to talk mascots, that squid would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
The Salty Dogs, that sounds like a Madden name.
Madden name?
Yeah, like, when you create a team on Madden or like NHL.
Oh.
It seems like one of those generic names.
Oh, I'm going to Urban Dictionary to see if there is a salty dog. There's got to be, right? There has to be.
Now, the Oakland Raiders, you got to go way back for this. The winning name, they had like a situation where they, had people write in names. What was this, then? Early 60s, Randy, the Oakland Raiders?
Have to be.
Early 60s is my guess as to when they came about. The winning name was the Seniors. And that would have been beautiful. Raiders, great. Don't get me wrong. Raiders is a great name, but the Seniors, that sounds great to me.
All right, I looked up salty dog on Urban Dictionary, and I wish I didn't.
Well, it's a drink. What else is it?
It's all right, I'll clean this up as best I can. It's when a gentleman makes love to a young lady.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then later that same day, without any hygiene in between, lets another lady provide a service for him. And
Sure.
that, according to UrbanDictionary.com, is the The salty dog.
Oh, boy.
Another definition is the act of defecating into the ocean, thereby allowing for salty seawater to gently enter your anus.
Oh,
It's
God.
not right.
No.
I will try one or both of those before the end of the show. Where's the nearest ocean?
Some other cute ones here. The Orlando Magic. There was potential there to name them the Aquamen. The New York Mets damn near became the Bees. I would have loved to see the Bees. The Miami Marlins. Well, when they were the Florida Marlins. They were almost the Florida Flamingos.
That would have been kind of cool.
God, how awful would have... I mean, Colorado Avalanche is dumb enough. They were damn near the Colorado Extreme.
Oh, gross.
Who would ever go by the extreme name?
Toronto Raptors, man. Not a bad name, but they could have been the Toronto Tarantulas. That would have been sweet.
The first 2 weeks of this show, they wanted to call us the Extreme Team, and eventually we said we just can't do it.
Extreme team?
Yeah, we can't be the Extreme Team. Yes, they did.
You're making that
Did
up.
you ever say it on air?
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah.
It was like the first 2 weeks,
Oh,
and
I would love to hear audio of that.
we eventually said
Awful. Just awful, you guys.
the 93X Extreme, with an X.
Yeah.
The Extreme
So
Team.
extreme.
I would like to hear those drops.
Dude, I spent 2 weeks making a ton of them. And
then all
we
of a sudden
hated
they
it.
Scrapped it.
Yeah.
Oh.
See,
we scrapped it. We just said we can't do it.
We've gone off about this before, the horrible, horrible ideas that we had to endure for decades around here. But Josh and I have differing memories of this. I don't ever remember going on air with that goofy name. I remember it being talked about in an office, but I don't have any memories of going on air.
I know for sure we did because I had to make all the drops. And we eventually just went into the boss's office and said, we can't do it. It sounds so stupid.
I remember saying, what are we all sitting around a studio wearing crash helmets? But I mean,
just mainlining Red Bulls.
We can sit here all day, and talk about the absolutely brutal ideas that we had to endure from people who were considered leaders in this building. It's friggin' shameful, is what it is.
Sometimes I wonder if it was almost a bit. Let's just see if we can get these guys to do that.
It was so difficult.
Thank God for marijuana gummies and a boss that's too high to notice what's going on the show. That's really left us alone.
I remember being so close. In the beginning, we were a little too shy to talk like this, but I remember being so close to saying, let me get this straight. You're like some authority figure here? You got ideas like a 6th grade kid. Did Cubby tear up yesterday when watching the video of the little kid reciting a full scene from Rocky Balboa with Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, that was great, and he was so into it.
Yep.
And Stallone, you could tell, first and foremost, didn't remember many of the words, but also was impressed.
Yesterday was Rocky Day.
Sunday
was Rocky Day in Philadelphia. Sylvester Stallone shows up. He's hanging out by the statue that they have in Philly of him. And some little kid walks up out of nowhere and was able to recite an entire set of dialogue from the movie Rocky Balboa, the speech that Rocky is giving his son about how life kicks you in the ass.
Such a good speech.
The kid recited it perfectly, and Sly was right there chanting it along with him. That's a beautiful thing right there. So Cubby did or did not tear up?
Oh, I certainly did. I have the clip. You can barely hear the kid, though. Because they've got
play the real clip then.
Yeah, I have that as well. That one is awesome. It's a great speech.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You're better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life.
It's way better advice than past program directors and general managers gave us here at the radio station.
People are giving us crap because we used to be Nick Danger and Tijuana Josh. Also not our calls.
You were not.
Yeah, we got the signs around here.
Tijuana Josh?
Yeah.
Well, wait, Randy, we've had these conversations. What do you got, Alzheimer's or something?
I have not heard that before.
Yes, you have.
I have not.
I got buddies that still call me Tijuana just to mess with me.
That's
As a matter of fact, my stepdaughter has me in her contact info as Tijuana.
You were just like the complete opposite of that type of character, too. You gonna drink some tequila, Josh? Get all crazy?
You know it.
You guys lucked out.
Yes,
Ashley
very
and
much.
Wapple and Dana, you guys lucked out.
You sure did.
That you weren't stuck in that sickening, phony, just forced radio era. You know, it was disgusting. It was awful. It was I hated every single second of it.
We had a taste of that 5-6 years ago when a corporate guy came to town and told us that he wanted me and Nick to climb a billboard, and then he'd hold a sign, have like a written piece of paper saying, "We can't control these guys. We don't know what's going on. They're too wild and crazy." We're like, number one, have you ever listened to the show? Number two, I think this is illegal telling us to do it. I'm a 40-some-year-old man with kids. He was fired shortly after that. True story. He didn't last too long.
That was really, really shocking and I thought originally he was joking because it had been so long since we had been exposed to that garbage approach to radio where you just, wow, we're crazy and we're running the streets and we're getting arrested. It had been so long since anyone had approached us with that nonsense. This guy brought it up, like Josh was saying, not more than, 6-7 years ago, and I thought, what the hell are you? Did you just travel by time machine from 1993?
I assumed it was a joke.
We're going to climb up on a billboard and get in trouble with the cops? What the F is wrong with you? And again, this is a guy who's probably making 7 times what we do, and he's like a corporate head. It's horrible.
Yeah, that was something else. People are texting in on that kid. He's the kid. I thought I recognized him. He's the kid you've probably seen who does all the Hulk Hogan stuff.
Oh, that's the same kid?
It's the same kid. Yeah, he sounded just like him, and people are saying that is him.
So he's kind of a stalker.
Yeah. I just said yeah without knowing what you were going to say.
I've seen him do the Hulk Hogan thing.
Yeah, he's good at that, too.
He walked up on Hulk Hogan and recited an entire promo from 1984.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. What were we saying earlier about power rankings? USA Today's NBA power rankings dumped the Wolves at the very tippy top of the list. This is also surreal, isn't it, Randy?
Yes, it is.
They're at the very top of the power rank. I know we're only 20 games in, but, this is all stuff that the Wolves don't have a whole lot of experience with. This writer from USA Today said, what a season this has been. There was no way I could have imagined this start for the Timberwolves so far.
Yeah.
They say the offense could use some work. Anthony Edwards is out with a hip injury, so we may see a bit of a slowdown here for the Wolves, but this team is very real, and we should take them seriously. Now, Edwards was back at practice yesterday.
I think he's going to be okay.
Oh, I think so, too.
Yeah. I mean, they only play 2 games this week. It's a light week because of the in-season tournament, so if he were to miss a couple of more games this week, that's not going to be the end of the world. I mean, they've built themselves a cushion a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Having the record that they have at this point, so they can probably afford to give him a little bit more rest than if they were, sub 500 and struggling to try to catch the pack and all that kind of stuff. So they kind of bought themselves some time.
And, keep in mind, Jaden McDaniels will be coming back at one point or another, too.
Right.
And he's a very valuable guy on the club. Chris Finch was named the Western Conference Coach of the Month.
It's awesome.
Should be, yeah.
It's the first time he's won that honor. He's the 3rd Timberwolves head coach to win the award. Flip won it a couple, 3, 4, 5 times.
Sure.
The other was Kevin McHale.
Yeah.
Was the Western Conference Coach of the Month in January of 2000+9. That was a while back. Kevin McHale coaching the club. So there you go, Randy Shaver.
After he fired his friend.
After we fired Flip.
That's right.
Right. Well, let's come up with a bad radio name for... I mean, we already have Jungle Jane and Jupiter Jane, but those
Norwegian Ox.
Those aren't bad.
The Norwegian Ox. They're not bad.
No,
but they're meant to be silly. Let's put ourselves in the shoes of dumbass early 90s radio program directors and come up with would it be like Janel Leather or something like that?
Janel Leather.
Harley Klein. Right?
Yeah, it has to be something badass or overtly sexual.
Because there was a time when we had, badass or overtly sexual. That was the way. There was a Randy Shaver.
Like Jugs.
Yeah, Janelle Jugs. It probably would have been.
Yep, probably.
Those programs,
Middays with Jugs.
Yeah, they probably would have. What's not selected isn't the word. Recommended or requested.
Yeah.
They probably would have went with Janelle Jugs.
Get your daily jugs.
That's exactly what it'd be. Jugs in your face with another nonstop hour of rock.
I mean, there was a time when we had a gal that would do traffic reports on this frequency, and her name, not her choice, her name was Candy Slice. It was just all so embarrassing. But yet they insisted on that approach. But
you know what? Some people loved it, right? Some people loved having the name. There was this character.
Okay, you mean people as in people working in the business?
Yeah.
Yeah, some loved that air of mystery or whatever it was. Yeah. Some thrived
they were
on
a character.
it. Yes, they did. Janelle. Jugs.
Traveling Jesus mentions that I always have wanted to be Logan, Dakota. I always thought that'd be cool. Or if we become a country station, Dusty Spurs. That could be my name.
That's so perfect.
Dusty Spurs. Oh, my God.
Others are requesting a name for Janelle that ends with the last name McGee.
I think I know that one.
I think everyone knows that one.
Chesty LaRue.
There you go.
Janelle Talia from Steelers fan. Jesus. As silly as that sounds, I could see that being a 1999 name for you on the radio.
God, help us all. What misery. But there you go. Some bitches over there. Ashley Wapple, Dana, you lucked out.
Yeah, Dana, you lucked out.
People have sometimes asked me, they say, is Dana your real name or is that your radio name? I'm like, if I got to pick one, you think I would have gone with Dana?
Well, we didn't get to pick one. I wouldn't have went with Tijuana, that's for sure.
That's a good point.
That's how
when they first said that to you, Josh, what was your reaction?
Well,
when they first said that's going to be your name on the radio.
They were so hard-handed back then. It was, hey, you do this or you're out of here, you know?
Really?
And I just remember, I thought it was a joke. I'm like, wait, I have to call myself that?
Again, they would give you the impression, Randy Shaver, that there were 375 people outside the door waiting to take your job.
Yeah,
sure.
You're this or you're gone.
If you don't want to do this, hey, take a walk and we'll find someone else to do it. That was the overall approach back in those days to make you fear for your job. So a lot of that garbage, you felt as if you had no choice.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That's crazy.
If it wouldn't have
They
been
didn't take it well when both of us decided, you know what, we can't do this anymore.
No.
It's just ridiculous.
No. Oh, I mean, I broke my character on air.
When you had an accent.
Yes.
I mean, so yours was
Had an
dramatic.
accent?
What? Yeah.
Well, it was
your famous Australian accent. Do your Australian accent for everybody.
Oh, you mean my Canadian accent?
Oh, your Canadian one. Excuse me. Yeah.
Hey there, mate.
Yeah, that was perfect.
You did not do that on the air.
No, it wasn't that.
You have to understand, Randy, it's a long story, and it's kind of frustrating that you don't. We've had these conversations like dozens of times.
I have not heard this.
I started out as a guy who just did prank phone calls. I was going to Brown Institute. Do you really want to hear the whole story?
But there's some people that would want to hear it, I would think.
I was going to Brown Institute. Here comes this morning team into the school looking for interns. And I ignored them completely because I didn't want to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. No way.
Sure.
But there were other students at Brown that went to meet them. And then as they're walking out the building. I see these two guys walking to their cars. I figured, F it, I should probably pounce on this. So I ran out and said, what are you guys looking for? And they said, well, we're looking for characters. Guys to make prank phone calls. Guys to do street interviews, that kind of a thing.
Sure.
And I said, yeah, I could do that if you didn't find anybody in there. They said, no, we didn't really find anybody. And their approach, their idea was a character, not a person, like a Jerky Boys type of a thing. That was very hot at the time, the Jerky Boys. Yeah. So I said, yeah, I can do that stuff. So I became this character through prank phone calls. Well, next thing you know, prank phone calls kind of became a thing of the past, didn't they, Josh?
Yeah. That's right. And we weren't even allowed to do them.
It became big trouble. Yes, so now I'm sitting in, just day-to-day morning show stuff, but I had to continue to be that character. And I hated it. And I told the guy I said, I can't have this stupid name, and I can't be doing this stupid character voice all the time. The worst part about it was when some listener from New York meets me at a Timberwolves game, and I had to stay in character by order of the bosses. If you see anybody, you stay. They didn't want to break what's the wrestling term again?
Kayfabe.
They didn't want to break the kayfabe. I hated it. I was embarrassed. I just thought it was stupid. It was stupid. Yeah. I mean, it got me in the door. And some of the prank phone calls were a lot of fun, and very. But once I had to start doing it day to day, I hated it. So one day, I told the guy who was running things, I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. I hate it. He said, oh, yes, you are. One day on air, I just broke it. And I was getting shot. What do they call that? Eyeball
daggers.
Thank you. This dude was shooting me daggers across the board as I just broke character. I just decided to do it on my own. And then we went off air, and the guy goes, what are you doing? You've ruined everything. And I said, throw me out of the building. I don't care. I'm not doing this stupid character anymore. And then I went from there. There's the whole story.
I've never heard that story.
Do it. Say something again in your Canadian accent. It's so good. I mean, it's like dead on.
Hey!
Hey!
Well, let's have a barbecue.
We're over here in Canada, isn't it? Canada, isn't it?
I've met a lot of Canadians. You nailed it, bro.
I know I did. Friggin' Canadians. All right, Randy, we got to go. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, you and Brad Ryder, and we're going to continue. You okay with that?
Janelle, it's worth getting up in the morning, isn't it?
I love this. I love this.
Leather Janelle.
Jugs.
And she broadcast in a bra and panties,
Broadcasting from Studio 93 Double D.
Yeah. She rode in on a Harley Davidson, of course. She's fresh off a night in the sack with Tommy Lee. All that stuff. That was the stuff. We'll party our freaking nuts off when we come back next on the Half-Assed Morning Show. Give me some cocaine. Pass it over here.
Half-Assed Morning Show.
They're loud. They lose control. They do their little circus act. They're a nuisance.
93X.
Grace here, customer service rep at Standard Heating. I'm proud to work for a company that understands and takes care of our fellow Minnesotans. Our weather here can be a little unpredictable and even extreme. That's why we've been here for 93 years and counting, to keep our community safe and comfortable.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.
We're all juggling life, a career, and trying to build a little bit of wealth. The Brown Ambition podcast with host Mandy and Tiffany the Budgetnista can help.
Ultimately, I'm not expecting that you know how to do everything, but I am expecting that you are willing to learn.
You can't be in the passenger seat when it comes to your career. You can't expect your manager to teach you every single thing. If you're falling behind in a skill, like finding a way to get caught up without just telling your boss, like, I don't get it.
Brown Ambition.
Wherever you listen.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, wow. Janelle Talia. That's funny.
It would have happened 20-some years ago.
Thanks for coming in, Janelle.
Oh, you know how much I love you guys.
You're the damn best. Welcome back to the Half-Assed Morning Show. Jesus, it's 8:34 already. Janelle, should we talk about our date coming up on Saturday night?
Yes, let's do that. I would like to hear more about it.
I got a date coming up on Saturday night, not only with Jungle Jane, but also with the old Smashley over there. You guys said I was losing my touch. Saturday night, you can find the three of us, me and Janelle and Ashley. We're going to be over at the Stanchion Bar in Corcoran, Minnesota. We got an email a while back from the gal who runs the joint, a gal by the name of Christy, and she asked if we'd help out with a little holiday fundraiser that they have every year at the Stanchion. Turns out that Jungle Jane and Ashley and myself are available on Saturday night, so we're going to be out there. Something that they call celebrity bartending. I'm more comfortable calling it guest bartending.
Yeah, I like that better too, Nick. Thank you.
Ooh, la la. Look at you guys.
Josh.
I'm more comfortable calling it guest bartending. But it sounds like a real fun deal, and I wanted just to thank the Stanchion again for inviting all of us. They got a hold of us. They got a hold of Janelle. Just so happens we're all the best of friends. And we're going to be hanging out. I think, I can't say for sure. I can give you a more solid update on it later on in the week. But I think we are slated to bartend somewhere between like 7 and 9:30 or something, 7 and 8:30, sometime around 7 o'clock, I think.
Prime time.
We duck behind the bar.
I have a recommendation. Don't go up to Nick and ask for a mixed drink. That's Ashley. If you want something on tap, Nick's your guy. As long as it's domestic.
Solid advice.
Yeah.
Christy and everyone at the Stanchion should know that I have no idea how to mix a drink. I've never mixed a drink in my life. Sure,
I can teach you.
Back in high school, we would slug out of a bottle and wash it down with some 7-Up or something like that. I'm sure I made some kind of a crude mix in a Dr. Pepper bottle in high school to mask what I was really drinking, but I have no idea how to make a mixed drink. I'm strictly a beer guy.
If you can count to 4, you've got it covered. Pretty much.
I think I can handle that. I'm strictly a beer guy. I can pop the tops on some beer cans, twist off some bottle caps, this and that. Like Josh said, run a tap if you want me to. But according to the folks at the Stanchion, they raise around $10,000 at this event.
Ooh.
So this is going to be fun. And
that's really impressive.
Awesome.
I'm really, really happy that they got a hold of us because that's almost in my neighborhood. That's right down the road from my place. And I do love that joint. I don't get in there as often as I'd like because, as Josh would tell you, our social lives are a living hell because of this horrible occupation that we chose. But I'd like to have more time to swing up. I was there last summer for their Hamel Rodeo party and saw, I think I told you guys about this, I saw a terrific live band called the Devin Worley Band. I think they're going to be involved in this thing on Saturday night, raising money for the holidays. So here we go.
You know where I'll be Saturday night? I'll be hanging out with some frat boys in Mankato, Minnesota.
Why in the world are you going to Mankato,
You
Josh?
got to explain this. Yeah.
My stepdaughter's boyfriend is graduating from college. And so the graduation's Saturday. And I'm going to be partying with Phi Theta Kappa. I don't know what he's a part of, but he's some sort of frat. So I'll be hanging out with some frat boys Friday or Saturday night. I'll show them how it's done.
Yeah, show them how to hold a beer.
Yeah, I'll show them how to hold a beer.
Is it going to be like a Frank the Tank situation?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Where at the opening part of the night, you're carrying around a bottle of Pepsi Free, and you're talking.
No, you guys enjoy. I can't.
Well, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, so I'll be at my first ever frat party Saturday night.
First ever.
I came real close to going to a frat party at the U of M.
Were you almost 50 at the time?
Well, I was 40 for sure.
Were you really?
Yeah. Yeah, me and a buddy were at the Golden Gopher football game, and my buddy is a boss at a golf club, a golf course. And so a lot of college kids work for him. So he becomes friendly with all these college kids. They're his employees. So we're at the Gopher football game. We run into one of these college kids. And he says to me and my buddy, hey, swing by the frat later. We'll party. And here we are, the two of us, 40, 41, 42 years old. I said, should we really do this? And he said, you know what? Yeah, let's friggin' do it. And I said, okay, I'll be Frank the Tank. You be the Godfather. We're playing out all the cute scenes from Old School. And we walked up after the football game, we walked up the steps of the frat, and I said, this is going to be incredible. We're going to old-timers at the frat house. In the end, the kid who invited us wasn't there, and understandably, the other frat boys, they believed our story. They said, yeah, we're friends with Donnie. They believed our story, but they said, we can't let you in unless Donnie is here to confirm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were playing it safe.
Uh-huh.
And we said, all right. And Donnie never showed up, so we never actually got to party at the frat house.
Yeah, I don't know how this is going to go. A few people are texting in saying they're also going to the graduation Saturday at Mankato. Let's hook up. Let's party. Some people are asking if I'm going to try out for their hockey team. I mentioned I'm 48 years old. I'm right in the wheelhouse. I don't know how to skate, so I won't be playing hockey.
So I know Ashley has bar experience, for this gig Saturday night at the Stanchion. You know your way around a bar.
You know what you're doing.
You've bartended. You've waitressed.
You've passed out at plenty of them.
Yeah, I'm very experienced.
Janelle, what kind of skills do you have behind a bar?
I used to work in a beer garden.
Oh, really?
I did. I used to work at the River City Speedway in the beer garden.
That sounds
awesome. I was a news anchor by day. Then I would change clothes and go work in the beer garden at night. That's how poor I was.
Where is the River City Speedway?
Grand Forks, North Dakota.
In Grand Forks, North Dakota.
Yeah.
Pretty hot place to hang out in Grand Forks.
Oh boy. Yep, we sold beer by the 6-pack.
Oh man!
At the stock car races.
Oh, at the races,
Yeah.
you were in the beer tent, and you'd hand out 6-packs to the race fans.
Yes.
I bet that would have been a cool little experience.
There are some stories.
Did you have to wear a checkered skirt or like the checkered flag skirt or anything like that to stick with the theme?
No, it was actually hard work. It was like hauling beer from the beer cooler to the beer garden and cracking open 6-packs and
man.
Yeah.
So they worked
my
your
wife
ass
used
off.
to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fun, but yeah.
Be like a beer tub girl or a shot girl running around. What do they call that in Lakeville? Panaprog? Am I getting the right one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's a big deal there.
I have a friend who does that now in the spring at the Twin Spring Training Ballpark down there in Fort Myers. He's like a runner, and he's 52 years old. And he's like you were describing, Janelle. He's got to run and grab a couple of kegs. He's got to run and grab a pallet of peanuts and whatnot. I'm like, you're going to drop dead at that friggin' joint. Everyone else on staff is 20.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but he loves baseball. He loves going to the ball games. That must be part of it, but I physically couldn't take that. So you know how to pour a beer, Janelle.
Well, pour a beer, but to your point, I've never mixed a drink. I know nothing about bartending, so
Me neither.
I've been a waitress, but that was when I was, underage, so I've never mixed a drink. I've never served a drink other than beer at this beer garden.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to. I mean, I have an idea kind of what's in what. Like a vodka soda, I know what's in there.
Yeah. Yep.
I know what's in a. Do people drink mimosas in the evening, or is that just a morning?
Probably not at the Stanchion in Corcoran.
Yeah, you'll find a weirdo every now and then that does that. But
What's the most popular mixed drink? Is a Long Island there or no? A Red Bull? What's that called? The Red Bull one?
vodka Red Bull?
No, that sounds too simple. I wouldn't have forgot that.
Okay. I never
Josh,
know,
son of a
really.
bitch.
I like Red Bull vodka better.
These frat boys are going to kick me right out of the thing.
They're going to love you, Josh. Take it from me, I guess, a guy, I imagine I spend more time at the bar than any of the rest of you do. I don't know how to mix a drink, but the one that I hear called out more than anything is Captain and Coke.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
It's
the most
got, in my
popular.
limited experience, you're right. You
That's
hear that
the
a
one
lot.
I hear called out more than anything. I don't spend much time paying attention to what everyone else is ordering, but I would say Captain and Coke is probably the most.
I'm going to be partying on Saturday night. It sounds like a few people from the brother and sister are going to be in Mankato. Everyone wants to go to Mettler's. Let's do it. Let's hook up at
Mettler's.
Mettler's.
You're going to get crazy.
If you go to Mettler's, I'm going to be very jealous.
All right, I'm not going to go to. I wouldn't do that to you.
No, I want you to go.
Oh, you do want me to
I mean, I'll be jealous, but I'll live through it. I'm a big boy now.
We get to hang out with Janelle and Ashley.
I know, and you know what? I think my role is probably quickly going to turn from bartender to more like a bouncer, keeping all the farm boys off of Ashley and Janelle.
You're onto something.
You know what I'm talking about?
Nick, do you think people will sit down and tell you their troubles?
Oh, that's my favorite part. That was my favorite part about bartending.
I would love that, Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as long as it's not too dark.
Right.
Gosh, people tell you everything.
Yeah, isn't it funny?
I kind of get that sometimes. and I'm not a bartender, but I like to be a good ear for folks.
And I can sit here and attest that you are. It's funny now that we brought up, the old school theory that a bartender is partially there so you can bend his or her ear and tell him your problems. The other thing that comes to mind is how much obscene, awful things our bartenders overhear us talking about. Yes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the cool thing about bars, they're designed the way that they are because it helps like the bartender be able to hear everything that's going around on the bar. Like, for example, I would be on one side of the bar, and I could easily hear the people on the other side. And
I'm sure they had no idea.
Yeah, they have absolutely no idea that you can hear them.
Anything stand out? Anything good?
No, there's just been so much over the years that it's hard to pick and choose.
Every once in a while, me and some pals will be sitting at the bar, and we'll start to talk about sex or something, and we forget that the bartender can hear every effing thing we're saying. And they kind of look at you as if to say, okay, come on, right? And it happened the other day. Oddly enough, I don't know. It wasn't me that started this conversation. Someone started a conversation of when boys begin masturbating compared to girls, okay?
I've never once thought about that.
It's a fun conversation.
And some guys were chiming in and some women were chiming in this conversation. And then I locked eyes with our female bartender, and her eyes were saying to me that she was thinking, can we please put a lid on this? I'm trying to work. You know what I mean?
When do girls start doing something like that? I never once considered that.
Probably around the same, 12, 13, around the same age.
Oh
Is that how it is for guys, or is it younger than that?
No, that sounds about right to me.
What's funny is the conversation we were having at the bar, the women who were involved in this conversation were saying they didn't do it until much later in life. But maybe they were religious.
Times have changed.
They were religious or something. I don't know.
I've never done it, but if I did, it would have been older than that. But.
So there you go. If you're in the neighborhood Saturday night, if you're in the Mankato State neighborhood, look for Cubby.
Yeah, honestly, that'd be fun. I can't believe how many folks are going down there for the graduation. That's great.
If for God's sake you're anywhere near Corcoran on Saturday night, stop in and see Janel Klein and Ashley and myself and others.
Well, you guys are doing it for a good cause.
As guest bartenders.
For me, it's family obligation.
Raise some money. God dang it, they told me, somebody, or I looked it up. My wife looked it up online. Who else is going to be there with us? And now I forgot who it is, but it's people that you know. I shouldn't say it just in case. I won't say it. I just thought of it, but I won't say it just in case they're not showing. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to.
Can we just look at the website? I mean, if it's on the site, that's probably safe to say.
That's
right?
where the wife got it from. But
yeah, you're safe to say.
Okay, according to...
just like in wrestling. What do they always say with wrestling?
The card is always subject to change.
Right.
Mm-hmm. From what I heard on that Saturday night, Lindsay Whalen going to be there.
Oh man.
Sweet. You know Lindsay Whalen, Janelle?
That's exciting.
The best. I love Lindsay.
You know her?
Oh, I'd love to meet Lindsay
She's
Whalen.
so cool.
And then, the other name that I heard thrown around, and I've seen him in his underwear before, and just his underwear, and he has seen me in mine. Frank Vassalero.
Oh, really? Ooh. We used to have him in studio. He's a funny dude.
He's
from
awesome
Channel 4 News, right? Channel 4?
Yeah. You're going to be hanging out with some cool people.
We saw each other in our underwear.
Oh, I'm excited.
And I'm not going to tell you why. I'll let your imagination run wild as to why Frank and I were both in our underwear.
I'll bet he looks like a Greek god in his underwear.
He looks like an Olympic swimmer.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Looks like it.
I bet his legs are as hairless, too. He's perfect. He's a perfect man.
An Olympic champion swimmer. Of course, coming up at the end of the week, our big Toys for Tatas event Friday at Rick's Cabaret, Gentlemen's Club, downtown Minneapolis. A lot of you have been texting in. We can't wait. We can't wait to see you. We're excited for the event. We're excited to see what donations you make, because the donations are always off the effing charts. Our listeners absolutely beat everybody's ass when it comes to this kind of thing, showing their charitable side and donating toys for kids come the holiday season. That'll be Friday morning. Yes, John?
This will be a first for me on Friday, for Toys for Tatas, because it'll be the first time, and probably only occasion I'll ever be at a strip club shoulder to shoulder with my stepson. He's coming for the first time this year.
No way. That makes it so much more exciting.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to feel. I mean, I'm so glad he wants to be a part of what we're doing, and he's a charitable kid. He's a great kid. I look forward to spending time with him, obviously, but I am a little apprehensive.
I'm going to buy you two a lap dance
No,
together.
you better not. You better
Is he
not.
bringing his girlfriend?
I don't know. I guess I didn't ask.
I bet she'd be fun at a strip club.
She's fun everywhere. She's awesome.
I got a tear in my eye. That's a big moment.
You remember when he was just a wee lad, and here he is.
All grown
Going to be
up.
looking at half-naked women with us.
Got a tear in my eye. Toys for Tatas Friday.
KARE 11's Janel Klein.
This is the 93X Half-Assed Morning Show.
Oh, sure. Look at the time already. We got to get the hell out of here.
Oh, boy.
I want to make it very clear that as far as I know, the Wu-Tang Clan will not be joining Ashley and Janelle and I at the Stanchion Bar
Oh, darn.
in Corcoran on Saturday night. As far as I know, I said, Ashley. There's always an outside chance they make a phone call.
Boy, that could get a guy in trouble if you say something like that and they're not there.
It's happened in the past. We're doing all this talk about drinking here now. Bartending gigs in Corcoran, Cubby going to a frat house in Mankato on Saturday night. I was reading about a guy who had 120 glasses of beer, and he ended up with an overhang for a smooth month.
Oh, thank you.
A month he couldn't get right.
How's that even possible?
I don't know.
Go
Some
get
kind
an
of
IV, man.
It was some kind of weird mix of, his insides and the amount of liquor and this and that. It's a 1 in a million type thing.
The first time I ever had, I was 30 years old, and it was actually leaving our 4th of July booze cruise. And I was hungover for 2 days. I'd never had I thought I was superhuman. I thought I just won't get a hangover. And I had just turned 30, a few months, into 30, and I had a 2-day hangover. It was awful. I finally knew what everyone was talking about.
Yep. That was your first?
Yeah, that was my first.
I've had a pile of them.
Yeah, same here. I do remember, though, thinking that, oh, yeah, hangovers aren't bad. These aren't bad at all until I got, the first real deal one. And I was like, all right, yeah.
Josh, it's funny you said that at the age of 30, because when I turned 30, my buddy's older brother, who's kind of like an older brother to me, said, happy 30th birthday, Dana. Your days of hangover-free drinking are done.
This was a 37-year-old guy. He did have 120 glasses of beer sitting at a bar one night, according to the story. And it took him a month, if not even a little more, to shake that overhang headache. I mean, I've had so many, but there's one that really stands out. And then we got to hear Janel Klein's worst hangover story. This was, oh God, I was still a young man, 26, 27. House party at my place. And I woke up in the morning, and I was miserable, just miserable. And I had to hit the head, had to hit the bathroom. And I was living in a, God, isn't it nice when you have a, what do they call it in the business? You got a bathroom right there in your bedroom?
Yeah, like a master bath, or I think they call it an ensuite or a primary bathroom now.
Wonderful, isn't it, to have a bathroom in your bedroom?
The best.
I didn't have that back in this place I was living in 25 years ago. So I had to leave my bedroom to go hit the head. And I walked out of my bedroom, just in my drawers, and I was just about the worst overhang I'd ever had in my life. And this is how I knew how horrible I must have looked, how much pain I must have looked to be in. Because on my way to the bathroom, I glanced into my living room, where there were still a lot of people from the party the night before, all sitting on the couches and talking. And when I looked into the living room and made eye contact with those people, they all went, oh my God!
Bad.
Just by the look on my face.
Oh, no.
And I said, you cold-blooded sons of bitches. I went into the bathroom, I did my business, I went right back to bed. But they reeled out of almost fear just by the miserable look. And I'm sure the tone of my skin was probably
ghost white.
Just, oh God. Got a good hangover story, Janelle?
I was trying to think. All I can say is I'm with Josh. Like, there came a point where all of a sudden it hit you. But up until then, it wouldn't bother me at all.
Mm-mm.
Now, if I have a glass of wine with dinner, I want to die the next day. And I don't know when that started, but it's depressing. It's horrible.
You know what's weird? Like, I don't really drink that stuff very often. Well, I don't drink. I'm like every other year. Maybe I'm good for one time I drink. But like if somebody's like they have a dinner party, whatever, and it's wine, I'm the same way. If I have one glass, like I'm in major pain.
Wine is different, though. I've heard, learned from my drinking experience that wine makes me feel miserable.
Yeah, and I don't even have to have much. I'd be better off with anything else. It just messes with me.
That's hilarious. Isn't that something how it just...
Yeah, aging is great.
One day you're just the softest sumbitch in town.
Yeah, and I remember making fun of the old guys. Old guys meaning my age now. Thinking, look at these losers. Everything's wrong. I remember the first time my uncle told me he had hemorrhoids, and how funny I thought that was until I got them. Man, did we used to make fun of him. He'd sit there on his hemorrhoid donut and be miserable, absolutely miserable, and we thought it was hilarious.
I mean, think of how much you value a solid night's sleep.
Oh, my God.
These days at your age, right, Josh?
Yeah. Or just when there's an opportunity to take a nap. I can't wait to go to bed a lot of days.
And how ridiculous I used to think my dad was when he would come home and we'd all be partying. It's 4 a.m. He just got off the road, over the road truck drive. He'd walk in, we're all up drinking, and he would always say, doesn't anybody just go to bed? You know what I mean? I think about it, and at the time I thought, well, why? We got beers to drink, we got this and that. Now I totally get it. Janelle, you got anything on the horizon here you'd like to tell us about?
Not really. I am excited about Saturday. I hope everybody will come out. They are the nicest people at that bar, and they're doing great work. So I'm glad that we talked about it, and I hope everyone comes out and supports it.
Yeah, what a cool event. Can you give the details one more time in case anybody just tuned in?
I wish that I had real serious specifics, but this is what I know for now. It's the Stanchion Bar in Corcoran, Saturday night. They're having a guest bartending, celebrity bartending kind of a scene. And they raise money every holiday season, which then they use to buy toys for kids. I was told last year they raised around $10,000.
That is really impressive.
So show on up, I think. From what I understand, I apologize for not having real specifics here in front of me, but I understand Janelle and myself and Ashley, I think we start bartending around 7 o'clock. From what I was told, Lindsay Whalen will be there, Frank Vassalero, the Devin Worley Band. That's the information I have. But I've heard of the event before. Before they contacted us here and were so nice to invite us, I'd heard about the event before. So Saturday night, if you're in the neighborhood, we'll be hanging out there.
Yeah, it sounds like a good time. I'm glad you guys were able to do it.
Absolutely.
Before we get out of here, a couple of shout-outs. First, Baked Bread Pimp Jesus. Wishing good luck to his daughter going in for knee surgery this morning. All of us here are hoping for a quick recovery. And happy birthday to out-of-shape but not overweight Jesus.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show. 93.
The 93X Half-Assed Morning Show podcast is sponsored by Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. New episodes drop each weekday. If your podcast platform has ratings, go ahead and give us 5 stars and maybe give our enemies 1. Thanks, and here's a word from our sponsor.
On behalf of myself and Standard Heating and Air Conditioning, we would like to wish you a very happy holidays. And don't forget, Standard Heating and Air Conditioning is open 24/7 for emergency services to make sure you stay warm this holiday season. Go to standardheating.com today.